My name is Tim Hepworth and I'm from Black Falls, Alberta. Oh, if I had to choose between a dress and a skirt, it's for me to wear. Oh, that's a tough one. I would probably go, I don't know, skirt's probably more socially acceptable on a man than a dress. If I had to make a custom pizza for you, well, the first thing I would do is I prefer a thin crust pizza. So it'd be nice and thin, a little bit of red sauce, probably some Parmesan, some mozzarella, and then just about every meat that you could find. I like lots of meat on my pizza. None of those terrible pineapples or anything like that. No tomatoes, no onions, no mushrooms. Keep it simple. Throw some black olives on there, we're good to go. What I would consider to be a perfect day on the water, it's got to start with people who understand fishing. Understand that there's more to it than catching fish. Understand that they're out there to enjoy all the things that we can teach them. And just receptive people. I mean, people in general are why a lot of us do what we do. We love to meet new people, love the conversation. So having those good things from people who are willing to engage with you all day and yeah, just get a lot of good times out of it. Fish are a secondary thing and hopefully those are caught too and they enjoy that. And I think people also who just enjoy every fish. It doesn't have to be a big one, it could be a little one. And then obviously good weather, no wind would be perfect. If I had to pick one hatch to fish, it'd probably have to be a stonefly hatch. Especially here on the Bow River, it could be a really special hatch to fish, especially just different floats. You're doing it early in the morning, getting to watch the sunrise, big bugs. Yeah, it definitely would be a stonefly hatch for me. If I had to pick a favorite way to fish, like most people love dry fly fishing, I'm definitely quite partial to that too. But I like big dries, so anything big like foam, big hoppers, big stoneflies, that would have to be kind of my go-to. It's a lot different eats than you get out of a smaller dry fly, and yeah, there's nothing quite like watching a fish hang underneath a big foam fly. If I had to choose one Netflix series that probably kept me more engaged than any other Netflix series, I would say it was Hell on Wheels, for a lot of reasons. Shot locally here, right on the Bow River, some of it, and yeah, lots of seasons and lots of episodes to get you through. Yeah, I'd definitely go with probably Hell on Wheels. What's my favorite fast food place? I truly haven't eaten much fast food in my adult life. I'm not a big burger guy, so that's a tough one. But what I do really like is good fries. So if I had to go anywhere, it'd probably be like a Fat Burger or maybe Pete's Drive-In, just for the fries and gravy more than anything. Yeah, milkshakes too there. So my favorite flavor of ice cream would be without a doubt mint chocolate chip. nothing better than a good mint chocolate chip, and I'm not really partial to where it comes from, just mint chocolate chip. Have I ever ordered a pumpkin spice latte? I can honestly say I've never ordered a pumpkin spice latte. I also have never watched the Gilmore Girls, so I'm sure there's a reference there I'm missing. Why do I row a high drift boat? Good question. I've got to row lots of boats over the last few years, and I've tried a lot of different ones and how they feel. For me personally, I'm not a big dude, so a lot of boats feel big and clunky to me, and I find them hard to row. Hide is kind of, I would consider to pair it to like a sports car. It's quick, it moves on the lines you want it to. It also holds the line really well. I don't find like it wants to drift around, although it's a drift boat. It holds the line really well. It's very modular. It's easy to move stuff around to kind of get the setup that you want out of it. And the hide that I row is an XL Low Pro. It's big, it's long, lots of space. You'll have clients standing right on the back of your neck all day, that kind of thing. So yeah, personal preference, I guess, for everybody, but that's why I row my hide.
What's up, folks?
What is up?
What's up,
What is
TNL fam?
Hey.
I'm Dana Lattery. That's obviously.
I guess
We just spent 5 minutes
he pulled it
getting
up on
to
me.
know him.
I didn't know that was coming, so he got me good.
Yeah, I'm going to get you good every single night. So what we want to do, instead of starting with shenanigans,
What?
we literally want to spend a little more time at the beginning getting to know you guys and where
Yeah.
you're from. And I see there's some new faces in here tonight, so that's super exciting. So I'm just scrolling back up through the comments because hopefully tonight you brought a friend, because
Yeah.
tonight is
Bring a friend night.
Bring a Friend night. So I brought Tim tonight.
I brought Dana,
He's
so
my
that's
only, he's my only friend. So yeah, Thursday Night Live, it's a fly tying show with a little bit of extra tonight. If it is your first time here, we got a lot of giveaways tonight, and you can see that scrolling ticker at the bottom. It's bingo, because we play what we call Flyingo here, and we have for the past couple years. And thanks to our awesome sponsors, we have a lot of stuff that we give away during Flyingo. But there's a catch.
Oh, I'll tell you the catch, but you're not going to like it.
Well, you do like. Everybody likes it.
No, I don't think the people who lose like it as much as you think they do. So a little catch, though, is there's a little twist at the end where you might have thought you won it all, but if you choose the wrong door, you may lose it all again.
Flyingo Overtime.
Overtime.
Tim created it.
I had nothing to do with this. Take my name off of it.
So the cool thing about it, guys, girls, everyone, all people, is that the prizes from the last two episodes, because that didn't go well for John Onorati and Blake Teague.
Or Blake.
But what's cool is their prizes accumulated, and so they're here tonight. So we also have prizes from tonight, and we accumulate those prizes from the past. And I'm telling you, it's pretty awesome. There's a lot of stuff to be given away.
Tons.
But like I said, we'll go over that shortly. But let's get back to you guys like we talked about. Jason.
Hey, what's up, man?
Orzachowski.
Helena, Montana.
Wolf Creek Anglers.
Can't wait
and
to
so,
get there.
Good and bad things happen in our country. We could have a whole episode about that. We're somewhat free still. But if the borders can open for all the people, we're definitely going to do our spring trip down to Wolf Creek Anglers. Also, Wolf Creek Anglers on the way will receive some Thursday Night Live kits to give to their people down there in Wolf Creek, Montana.
Yeah.
So I look forward to getting more of those Montana folks in here. But yeah, so let's just kind of, I scrolled right back to the top. Let's say hi. Terry Souther.
Ooh, Terry.
Sylvan Lake. Charlene, I believe you might be new.
Yeah.
Saxapahaw,
Yeah,
North Carolina.
You did
I
it.
think I
I
nailed
think
it.
you got it. Yeah.
It's usually people's names I butcher.
Saxapaha. Yeah.
And Tom, he's from Baltimore, I believe, and he
Yep.
says TGI, TNF. Thank
I like
God it's Tim, not
Francine.
Francine. Francine has better nails.
Yeah, definitely has better nails. But
oh, yeah, he is from Baltimore right there. Mr. Tucciaroni, Alex. What's up, Marvin?
Tooch?
Joe, hey. Bags has got himself coffee and Bailey's.
Nice.
He's ready to tie. Joel from the Panhandle. And Joel just got his poster, I believe.
Ooh, nice.
So we'd like
Lucky
to see
guy.
pictures of that.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures of a picture.
Pictures of a picture. Oh, that's a good one. I wish I had one of those
Let
myself.
us know what you're drinking.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
We're drinking. I think we're both.
Well,
Ginger. My camera doesn't work like yours. Oh, so you're still in the people skills.
I just finished, but I'll show you what you're drinking.
Yeah. Gingerbread lager from our friends at Bow River Brewing in Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are we on mute? I'm getting messages here. Nope.
No.
It's my watch congratulating me because I
hit
stood.
10,000 steps
No,
sitting?
not. I stood 8 times
Oh,
today.
you good? Hey, that's...
Yeah, I remember once I used to be a professional athlete, and now my watch congratulates me for standing up.
Oh, man.
Things that change in this world.
Yeah, hey.
We will be tying 2 flies tonight. The Foamulator, which I'm telling you guys, it is the Stimulator on steroids. And that's going to be the first fly that we tie.
Yeah.
I also, as I say hi to you guys, want to remind you that there is a little preparation that goes into Thursday Night Live. For you guys, that's opening the package without blowing the packages and spilling your beads everywhere. So show them one of the tins maybe. Like,
So I'll show you what I do. This is a little $5 touch. It doesn't cost much of anything. It's one of these little hairline rubber things. And so when you pull stuff out of your package, it doesn't hit something hard and go everywhere.
Mammo.
It just sits in there. But if you have a little tin like this, these little things, I always end up putting lots of beads and things in here. Yes,
yeah,
there
so
it is.
we'll just kind of briefly touch on what Thursday Night Live is because there's a video on our YouTube channel. You can go and spend more time on that. But we do build the entire season worth of kits. So in your kit, you would get, and it's a work in progress. And I want to say thank you to everybody and the grace that you extend us as these kits start to perfect themselves. I'll explain that. But in those kits, you get all 20 episodes. Each episode has 2 patterns. You get those patterns fully tied, and then you get the material to tie those up to 2 times. That's not a trick. Some people are like, oh, they're saying now it's up to 2 times. No, because it's subjective.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
usually.
I brought this up because last year we did acrylics, and somebody tied the most bushy acrylics I've ever seen, and then said they didn't have enough for the next
80s
fly.
acrylics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 80s acrylics. And we're talking we need the 2020s acrylics. It's just barely there.
You need the Husqvarna to get
Yes.
that one trimmed down.
So, and also, guys, what happens is the material, sometimes there's a few little pieces that do get missed because I tried to build a machine to package these and it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So there's human error that exists, and we
Are
are
not perfect.
trying to get better every single year. It's a work in progress, and we thank you for your grace. If something is completely a disaster, we're working with everybody. We've only had a couple that are, might need to get a kit sent out.
Yeah.
So anyways, as you get the flies, you get the material to tie them. We tie them here. Tim ties them tonight for you guys as we go through live. At any point, you can say SOS. We hit the old alarm here, and we stop the show.
Yep.
And we wait for you. Stop our show is what it stands for. And if you have a question about something or what he did or why he did it, or if your thread breaks, or if you blew your bead up and it went on the floor, SOS, we stop and we wait for you. If you just want to come and hang out and drink beer, we also have quick ties at 9:30 tonight. Both these flies will be posted in what we call a quick tie. And what is a quick tie, Tim?
Quick tie is just exactly what it sounds like. It's a quick version of tonight. So tonight you're going to see that, yes, I tie, but we kind of BS in between, and it takes a lot longer to tie a fly because we're doing it with you as it goes. Whereas our quick ties are kind of designed to be like, more like something you would go to YouTube to watch for a pattern and tie it. And we tie it up. I go straight through it without any pauses. And then you can sit there and hit that space bar and pause at any time and back up and go back and forth. And it's just a really great way of you being able to go back. Maybe you only tie one of your flies tonight and you don't want to sit through the whole show to just watch the fly again. Just go to the quick tie. It's super simple. And it's exactly what I did. I'm going to do in a few minutes is what I did earlier.
So, we just kind of start off intros, welcoming everyone. And Doug Lindsay's here.
Hey, Doug.
And I just want to say without saying that, honestly, Doug, our hearts and our prayers are with you. And I know it's a big situation that you're going through. And I won't bring up much more of that, but super pumped that you're here with us tonight. And hopefully you feel the love that is shed from the whole TNL fam. Fries and gravy. Destin Havens.
Hey, Destin.
Appreciate you being here. I know we kind of chatted a little bit last week. I'm glad you're here. This is a really awesome family. This is a really fun fly tying event. Not because we sit here and be idiots, but because the family, the whole group that shows up every single week and ties along with us. And the comments, like Tim always says, this show isn't anything without your comments. So looks like Barry went from YouTube to Facebook, but he's here from Sundry.
What's up, Barry?
Elaine Lee.
Greetings.
Cam, Tim Shirt is the SHIIT. Shiite.
Maybe because your name's on it, you think it's pretty cool. I don't know.
So, bring that up. What does baking cam mean?
What is the baking cam? Why don't you tell us, Dana?
Well, folks, it's
Here
funny
it
you
is.
should ask.
Oh,
Literally, look what I
man.
did.
You did it. Bacon cam. Brutal.
Well, folks,
Put it in my mouth, please. I want that now.
the sandwich.
The bacon. Bring me the bacon.
So we do what we call the baking cam here, and you feel free to submit your baking. You need a couple photos or a little video and the recipe, and we'll share it with everybody. But since nobody shared this week, I just put up some of my specialties, which is my breakfast sandwich. And I thought the play on words, the bacon cam,
It works well.
it would work. So we try to make you guys hungry, thirsty, and all the other stuff. We can't feed you, and we can't pour you drinks, but we can hopefully teach you how to tie some flies.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That is the desire.
We try our best. Try our best. So
Oh,
back
man.
to here. Terry from
Terry.
Central Montana got some Madison River Brewing salmon
nice.
fly honey rye beer.
That sounds really good. Whether it is or
That
not,
sounds
I don't know. But that,
Like a mouthful.
yeah.
Darren Smith's here. Craig's here.
What's up,
Claude's
Craig?
in the house.
Claude, Mr.
Clint's
Clint.
in the YouTube. Darren Smith. I already said that. Jacob, what's happening? Mike from Bourne, Texas.
Born Texas.
Scotty from Detroit. Michigan
Yeah.
represent.
Where's Laura from? She local, isn't she?
Yeah, Calgary.
Yeah, Laura Calgary. Yeah. What's up, Laura?
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Rare appearance from the real Jen
The
Lyle.
real Jen Lyle.
Well, folks, the party's just getting started when the real Jen
Yeah.
Lyle shows up.
Put your husbands away. They are in
Yes.
danger.
So if you brought a friend, which you should have because it's bring a friend night, we want to give away, if there's enough friends here, a kit, a season 4 kit.
Yeah.
But that's only going to Blake hates me. I hate him too.
Hate and love. They're so close to
Well,
each other, you know?
It's called tough love, Tim, and I had to be tough love. I loved him tough last week.
You loved him hard last week. Real hard.
And if you were here last week and the week before, let's just say overtime, bingo overtime will be in your favor. That's my hint.
Oof.
The catches you never win. Oh yes.
I love it.
It's true. You
What's
do
it-
win. You do. Lots of people win.
What's up, Andy?
Episode 6 is still good. Yes.
No,
yes.
I got my card. Oh, yeah.
Nobody can win.
Nothing cool about it.
Hey, come on, guys. You guys loved it. You
keep-
loved
You
it.
keep saying that, but I don't know a lot of people
Well, they
think that.
do. They all commented how much they loved it.
Yeah, because they weren't the ones
So,
that got disappointed.
Scott brought Josh here.
What's up, Scott? Awesome.
We're going to be tying the Formulator first. So, as we're kind of BSing here for a few more minutes, and before we BS anymore, what we want to do is say a special shout out to our sponsors.
Yes.
But a special shout out. This is really cool, guys, because this is about dreaming big. And I know somebody who dreamed big a few years ago, and their dream actually hit a whole new level. Well, they announced it yesterday, but actually last week. And that's Rocky Mountain Fly Shop. They've actually moved into a brick and mortar storefront in Uptown Olds, the town we're in here. And that is so cool just to see the hard work that's been put in with that crew and now they're in a brick and mortar in Uptown Olds. So let's just say thanks to our sponsors. We'll be back in 1 minute. Fill up your beer. What should they put in their bobbin?
Yeah, guys, you're going to want something a little heavier. I'm going to go with a tan UTC 140, but something in a 6-aught or 3-aught at least would be good. Lighter color.
And you got some 6-aught in your kit if you bought a kit.
Yes, you do.
All right.
With the amount of time we spend in front of our vices, don't you think you deserve a pair of scissors that can make the cut? Oh, we're back. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, folks. So, music died.
Music died. What's up, Justin? In the house.
Did
Mr. Fisher.
Music didn't die.
Didn't it?
It's just on a quiet part.
Ugh.
Let's get it to a loud part.
Enough of that.
Okay, so you guys got your giant thread, your rope, Cam for Cam, a rope. Destin Havens is the first time here, and we love you already.
Yeah.
Big virtual hugs from the
Oh,
fam.
Mr. Jamie Kerr from the West Coast.
Muddler Chuckers, Vancouver
I
Island.
like that. You
West Coast is the best coast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know. Austin says, how? David Sawyer, Jacques Heroux, I am new too. You are not new.
You are not
You were the OG.
One of the OGs.
You were the OG. How you guys doing your fly tying club again? I had
Yeah.
the pleasure of tying it there club virtually last year, and we did the Creelix.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that? And it wasn't the 80s Creelix. It was Scott, what's up? Austin from Calgary. Jacob, excited to be here. Cody Frankie, too lazy to go to liquor store after work, so the women's fruity beers it is. Hey, there's nothing wrong with fruity
whatever.
beers.
The ones you bought for you.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay. Ron's from New Hampshire. Sean's from the Great White North, known as Grand Prairie.
Grand
Eric's
Prairie.
already guessing numbers. You know what we also have
Classic.
tonight in the let me just put it on my cam because you can kind of see all the stuff here. Tim, why don't you hand me the stuff?
If I just put my hand there, it'll probably go to it.
Okay, so this is the new stuff we've added. I can't even show you guys all. This is for tonight's bingo. There's a cozy, okay? There's 6-inch pliers from Watermaster. There's a $100 pack of material, fly tying materials, from our friends at Shore Fishing. There's some Nippa from Watermaster. There's a Costa hat from our friend Joel. Okay, so this is just starting. Okay, there's another $100 in fly tying material in a kit. This is from the previous, from Shore Fishing. There's another hat from Watermaster, a trucker, snapback. There's more. There's another. That's $300 in fly tying material from Shore. There's a whole bunch of stickers from Fish Pond Watermaster. Okay, you could kind of see them all, sort of. And there's another Watermaster hat. Okay, maybe we could switch this one out because that would be 2 Watermaster hats. We'll probably switch it out. There's a Sims fishing shirt from our friend Joel.
I noticed he didn't send it over in my size.
Yeah, it's large. Also from Rocky Mountain Fly Shop, a Fish Pond waterproof bag. I don't know what the price tag on this is, but usually these are like $100 and some bucks. It's almost $100. With shipping, it'd be $100. And then we also have this spool safe. Okay, my camera loves me so much it doesn't want to take the focus off of me and put it onto the prizes. So all that stuff's going in the bingo tonight. And then if you guys brought enough friends, and I'll decide that at halftime, we're going to give away one of these. These are the season 4 kits, okay? All 20 episodes in there. You get, I can't see where the thread is, but you get 6 rolls of thread. You get all those flies completely tied. You get all the materials. You could go back. If you've missed any episodes, it doesn't even matter because all the quick ties are there. You'll be able to tie all these flies that are in there. And you'll be able to tie all the flies going forward because you're now part of the TNL fam.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Also, what we're giving away tonight and next week is $50 gift cards to Trax Pub.
Whew.
Because on March 3rd, we're going to have a Trax Pub meetup.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, and then probably we'll give away some beer from Bover. We don't even know what we're giving away.
We don't even know where this night's going to go.
It's just a lot. But the more friends you bring, the more we give away. And that I brought up because Eric's guessing numbers because we used to just do that.
Yeah.
Scott from Pennsylvania. Victor Edmonds.
Still got to get the story on that animal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, are you guys ready to tie some flies?
Oh, I think we are.
We also have a halftime movie for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like a short film, a 6-minute short film. We also have a discussion panel set for halftime. And it's going to go around floatant. It's also going to go around tippet material. So if you want to just hang out and learn, that's pretty cool too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm missing so many comments.
You're so
Keith
behind.
Branter. Lauren. Well, that's who's got the fruity beers for Cody, apparently.
Oh, yes. Good job,
Tom,
Lauren. Good
what's
job,
up?
Lauren.
What's up? What's up? Okay, Travis Wade. The good old Guinness.
Oh, the honey brown.
Claude's into the honey brown. That's good too. BRB
Got a
got to
pee-pee.
PP.
Nice.
That was probably 35 minutes ago. So make sure you guys like this right now. Give a heart on the Facebook, on the YouTube, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Make sure you guys share it to your. Tim doesn't have a ride tonight. The next ride will probably take place on the Trax Pub night.
Yeah, it will be, yeah. Not this week, not next week, but the following one.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
going to be, I think, the first of the some saltwater flies.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Say, what's up? Joe and Doug in the house.
There you go.
Blake, I think he's just saying he liked the tough love. Don't tease me, Tim.
Sorry. I know you're sensitive.
Okay, Michelle. Oh, Tim's, you're commenting. Tim's also in the show.
Am I?
But
Didn't
what
even
we
know.
need to do,
I never get the comments. I got to throw one in there once in a while.
I know. All my friends are already here. Hopefully my friend Bubba shows up. Help me with my bag, remember?
Oh, yeah. Spammed and he offered everything.
Yes, Tucci, sir. Welcome, sir. Tucci-roni, door number 2.
Door number 2.
God, you don't know what I've got. Sean's already thinks he's winning. So, yeah, we're going to play bingo. Download your bingo cards. Get your kits. Hopefully, you've pre-got them ready tonight so that you're not scrambling when Tim gets ready to go. But without much further ado, also, I'm going to remind you guys, one of my favorite parts of the night comes at the end of the show. And if you're new and you leave, just come back because that honestly is the best part of the show. But yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Worth coming around to.
There we go.
All right, folks. You are looking at the Foamulator. This is what we're going to try to do again. This is the one I tied a little earlier on the quick ties. So if you go over and watch that, at some point you're going to see this. But let's take you through it. So,
would you like to switch microphones?
yes, I will.
See,
Yeah,
we have that ability thanks to Blake Teague and his tough love.
Tough love indeed. All right, guys. So,
They're like, so if they're new, they're like, what just happened?
yeah, what happened?
Doesn't
can't tell
it sound
because-
better?
Yeah, it does sound so much better than it did before.
Shut it. Don't tell anybody anything, Blake. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so I headed into my Season 4, Episode 9, and you have 2 different packages in there. Let's see if it'll focus. There you go. So that one and this one. We're going to go with that one with the orange and the yellow foam. That's going to be your number 1. So as you open this, what I will say about this fly is you can see it. There is a lot going on. There's a lot of different materials, and hopefully we can end up with another great bug looking like this.
Norman Wells is back from the Bahamas. See, guys, every once in a while,
Norman Wells.
I have the ability to just jump into the screen.
the ability.
the ability.
He creates the buttons so he can irritate me. That's what it comes down
And
to.
so that's why we do the quick ties.
Yeah.
And
Because this won't be quick.
And yeah, Tim is going to take his time here. So, right, Tim? You're going to take your time tonight so nobody complains?
That's why they call me Take Your Time Tim.
Take your time, Tim. Tie the fly, Tim. Chug the beer, Tim.
There's a lot of Tims.
Just
Lot of
all
Tims
that
in the
stuff
house.
is kind of weird. Anyways, SOS. I'm watching the comments. And I'm also checking in if new people show up just so I can say hi.
Oh, man. All right. Get out of my screen already. Okay. So I'm just,
Get
what I'm
out
doing
of
here,
my head.
I'm just trying to figure out all my materials. So it's a good thing when you're opening your kit, get your hook set aside. I like to just make little piles of all the materials because there is a lot in this one. I'm going to get that out. I'm going to go ahead and put this hook in. We are looking at about a size, I don't know, 4.
And if you guys complain about the music, that all comes on my shoulders. I do my best every single week to use copyright-free
Tunes,
music.
yeah.
Just in case you're wondering, we cannot use mainstream music. They will boot our stream.
They sure will. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's not as good.
Scott says, look at all the stuff that you almost win. We're kind of like the
Oh,
Canadian
man.
government right now,
Oh,
folks.
Jeez. Yep. Okay. Anyways, let's get on with this. So, the first thing we're gonna do is, like I said before, I'm tying with some tan UTC 140. Something with a little beefier. I want it to be a little longer. Whenever we work with foam, we don't want to cut our foam. So by using a little bit thicker thread, we kind of prevent that, and we get a little bit of added strength as well.
We got Lorraine from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia.
Cape Breton.
I love how they just think Dana's showing us what we can't win.
Well, I mean, you can win it, but you also
You
can
just
be
have to
heartbroken.
win it. You just have to
It all depends if you're in it to win it.
know the system. If you've been here for the last 2 weeks, you know the system.
Yeah. And the system may or may not have changed, so you never know.
Doug said TNL is helping tonight take his mind off things.
That's good,
That is
Doug.
a freaking win for us.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. Okay, so first material that we're going to start with is you're going to see in your kit you've got 2 different types of hair. You've got some long stuff like this, and you've got a shorter little patch like this. This patch is what we're going to tie our tail out of. So I want you to go in and grab a generous clump, something in that nature. We don't need it to be massive, but we do need enough for a substance to kind of create our tail. Now, the cool thing about this fly is I'm going to tie it, and I'm not the end-all be-all in fly tying at all, but I'm going to tie it as the standard Stimulator would be tied, just with the added fun of having foam in the entire thing, as it's stated in the name, Formulator. So I trimmed that off the patch. I'm going to grab it by the tips and just try to work out any of that little bit of underfur. Now I'm going to take this over before I lose it and get it right in my hair stacker. So,
Hey, your
course,
deer
I've got
stacker.
my shore deer stacker.
You gotta stack the deer.
the deer hair.
Looks like Wes is in the house from Idaho.
What's up, Wes?
Artisto, Wes.
You know, I haven't ordered a hat this year from Wes. It might be time.
Wes,
does the
in case
most-
you guys don't know, incredible artist. And last year on episode 20, the actual blow your mind winning prizes,
Oh, yeah.
he donated a pair of shoes that, was it Vans?
Chucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome painted,
Custom
like
painted,
brown
yeah.
trout or something. Crazy. He's an amazing artist. He's been making hats for me and Ren since she was born. So
Brandon asks, bingo cards are on our website, flyfishingbow.com/Thursday Night Live. How does bingo work? Sorry, Tim. you
you just
hold
want to come
those.
back in the screen? I don't even need to be here.
Well, I have the
There you
power
go.
to do that. Although I don't like doing it, I will. Okay, I will invoke my powers tonight on you, Tim.
Oh, you do it.
Bingo works like this, folks. Just so you maybe we didn't do a good enough job explaining it, but okay. And then what happens here is the bingo is in the middle here. Okay? And then you need tonight double lines. So the first with 2 lines wins. And so you just download your bingo card. It's free. Literally costs you nothing. Go to the website, put it in, and then we play bingo.
Yeah.
And it calls them out. It's a program. And then there will be ties sometimes, and we type your numbers in, and there's a tiebreaker. What you don't know if you're new is the bingo overtime, which is crushing. We won't show that. But that's
Not
how bingo
yet.
works. It's totally free. Go download your bingo cards.
Oh,
Tie your fly, Tim.
tie my fly. Okay, folks, so I did just stack that little bit of deer hair. So I'm going to take this off with the tips headed out the back end. So they're already basically where I want them to be. Okay, so I'm going to grab those tips. A lot of this stacking hair and stuff is just being comfortable with switching hands over and over without losing the tips. What I want to do is I want to take a measurement. So if I hold my hand on the bottom, I want to measure from basically getting the tips of those up to the top of the hook and then measuring the distance from that hook point to there. That's the distance that I want. So I'm going to pinch my finger there. I'm going to adjust it. So that's how much is going to hang off the back of the fly. I'm going to switch my hands back over. I'm going to take a nice loose wrap for my first one, because if I go tight right away, it's going to flare, and I don't want it to flare too much yet. So I'm going to take some nice light wraps moving up the fly, but away from those tips. Now that I'm away from them, I can pull tight. Okay, so I'm nowhere near them. I can make sure none of that material is going to come out. Okay, but I haven't gone tight back here, so you can see that that's still laying quite flat. So I'm going to get to go back there and choose my tension here in a moment. So I'm going to trim out all this. Get all that extra hair out and away. We're going to put lots more materials on here that'll also help do that. But for now, make sure those butts are all down. And now I'm going to start moving back here. And as I get closer, I'm just going to cord up my thread a little bit. When I get to right about here, so I want my where I'm going to actually be doing this tie-in from is basically from the barb. So if I let my thread hang at the barb, or just behind it. Now if I pull tight, you can see I can flare, or I can let it off. I can flare, or I can let it off, or I can land somewhere in the middle. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to land somewhere in the middle. I'm going to hold the tension that I have in the thread right now, and then I'm going to take a couple of wraps and then tight wraps. And what that does is secures it right in that amount of flare that I want on that tail. Okay, so that's the first thing. First thing's in and done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over this foam. So we got a big long strip of foam. We're going to leave it in full length for the moment, just because I'll show you how we're going to cut it in just a minute. We'll get through the foam in a very short fashion. But what I do need is I need to trim it.
Sean says it's too slow.
Sean,
well,
I
don't make
cannot-
us use the Norvice.
I can't solve all the problems.
he's just being that
Being a
guy.
baker. So again, I'm going to use that measurement from the point of the hook to the hook shank. So I'm going to bring my foam up against it, and basically I'm going to allow that to poke a little hole in my foam so I know exactly how wide I want that to be. Okay, now when I look at the end of my foam, I have a little poke hole there, and I'm going to trim my foam down to that width, because that's the width I'm going to use for the fly. So go ahead and do that. Trim that down so you got that width that we're going to work with. And then I'll come back up and I'll check it again. And yes, that is exactly the width that I wanted. Very happy with how that turned out. And I just basically need enough foam to get out over the top of the eye. So once I've got, I'll lay it here, just generally speaking, which is about halfway down that big chunk I had. I'll trim that off because I don't need all of it, and I'm left with this. Okay, now before I tie this in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to basically shape it to a point, like so. Okay, just at the very end. Now I'm going to lay this so that it extends right to the very back of the farthest back tip of that tail hair. Okay, now I'm going to switch hands and kind of brace it with my fingers. And I'm going to come up here and take a nice loose wrap until I get all the way around. And as I'm headed around for my second one, I'm going to pinch the foam so it stays right on top of the hook and pull tight. Okay, pull tight with my thread. A couple more wraps, pull tight. So this is what I'm left with. You can see that that foam has almost encircled that tail. So it holds it down. That's why we put a little flare on, but not too much, because that was going to crush it anyways. Okay. So I'm going to leave that like so. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull this back out of the way. If you got a material clip or something you can grab just to hold your foam out. And now I'm going to start adding in a ton of materials here, okay? So
We're good. Everybody's caught to this point. Because once we get past here, it's a lot.
things are going to roll like crazy. Okay. Looks like everybody's with me still. I'm going to take her pretty slow, guys. I'm not going to rush through this. So if you need me to slow down, don't hesitate.
Yeah,
to give me
the Norvice bobbins are great. The shore bobbins are unreal. So that's a great thing to talk about, because the shore bobbins for a traditional bobbin is fantastic.
I would say as good as it gets. Yeah.
The
Now-
Norvice auto bobbin
is just
It's another level.
It's not even on the same plane, okay? And I don't mean that in like a cocky sense. They're just not the same tool. So one tool is a traditional style, and one is, as you see here, well, I'll show you this one because it's not in the vise. It looks like this, okay? Now this, as I pull on this, you'll see it spin, okay? So as I pull thread out, it's on a spring-loaded system. Now if I bring my hand back towards me, it takes that thread back on the spool, okay? Now, if you've done much fly tying, you should instantly in your head be thinking, well, that makes a lot of sense. And it's because it does, okay? A lot of people don't tie with these type of bobbins. There's not very many. I think I know of 3 companies that make a bobbin that they call an auto bobbin. But this one, to be honest, I haven't even tried the other ones. This one has been so good for what I need that I haven't had to really do much else, okay? So, but these bobbins in the ability to pull out, spool back in, pull and spool back in. So what I'll show you now is that I'm a little wider view is if I need to pull, let's say I throw a half hitch in and I toss my bobbin way over here onto my cradle, when I bring it back, my thread just comes right back here and it takes it on. So I don't have to sit here and kind of spool my bobbin back up to get to it. It's just always there, okay? Which is just over to the cradle, bring it back in, and it just comes right back to where I want it. So understanding the utility of that, I mean, yes, the bobbin itself, the functions of being able to spin it, awesome. I use it a ton. To be honest, I don't show you guys a lot of that because I know a lot of you aren't tying on it. And maybe what we'll do one night is we'll spend a little bit of time just showing you a few of the techniques that I would use in my everyday tying that makes it a lot more efficient, quicker, to use the Norvise system in that fashion. But the bobbins, I don't care what vise you're tying on, the bobbin is the right thing. It's probably a $100 investment by the time it's at your door, but I'm telling you, it is worth every penny. Okay? All right, let's get into this materials that we're about to tie in. So in that kit there, you're going to see you have some copper-colored, thin, size small wire. Okay, so I'm going to grab one piece of that, and we're going to tie this, like I kind of alluded to earlier, as a traditional style stimulator. So I'm going to tie this wire in just kind of wherever. I'm going to work my thread to the back.
So once you just get that, we did have an SOS and I kind of missed it, but I think that was a few. Jose, did you get it? Are you back? I think so, because sure. we did there was a bit of time, but yeah. Scott says, is there a situation where you'd go for a regular bobbin over Norvise?
Personally speaking, only if I have wire on it. I don't know if I have one here with wire on it.
I had it all set up before.
Yeah, I don't see it right now. But yeah, that would be the instance in which I would use it, would be if I had...
It's right there behind the black light on the top shelf.
Top shelf, black light. Oh, man. It's always here until you're looking at it.
It's all loaded. Top shelf under the camera. To the right there.
Now down. Right here.
It's all loaded with...
Yeah, oh, I got you. Yeah. So, here. So, for instance, having an empty spool loaded with wire and putting that in a standard bobbin is basically the only time at this point that I use it, just because I just don't really have the purpose for it anymore. Once you tie on one of these bobbins, you just won't go back, in my opinion. But I always use it for wire. It makes life super easy if you're wrapping wire for wire worms or something. But I mean, nobody fishes those, so... Yeah.
Except for Sean.
Except for Sean.
Sean does that. Okay,
guys. The next material we're going to go ahead and put in here is you've got some of this green yarn that we supplied for you. This is going to mimic the body, okay? I'm going to take 2 strands. You should have a few strands or one long strand, cut it in half. I'm going to tie 2 of these in together, okay? I'm going to tie them in just before I get to the back.
So, like, this is almost like a dubbing
it's just
substitute.
It's mimicking dubbing, totally.
Yeah.
So now I've got my wire here, and I've got my yarn, and I'm going to tie this nice and tight against that foam, because that's where I'm going to start working it from.
Hold tight. We got an SOS, and that is recent.
Mr. Ryan.
What we can do on this SOS
is
say that we have another pretty cool sponsor.
Very cool sponsor.
And we'll give Ryan a chance to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Check it. All right, guys. Yes, Darren, green chenille work just fine as well.
Or yellow, or
yellow, or
whatever
whatever.
colors you want.
Yeah, brown, bronze, whatever it is. Question came up about how to spool the bobbins for these auto bobbins. What you get is this little tool comes with it, comes with your Norvise or with the bobbin. Now, if you have a Norvise, I would just take this and it fits right on my Norvise. So when I spin my Norvise, I can spin a spool. I'll take a spool like this. The spool goes on here, onto that rubber washer. That goes attached, and I can just spin it on by hand, but not by hand, but with the vise. If not, what a lot of people do is they do this in reverse. They put this knob in a drill and then do the same thing, just and buzz it up. It's really not a challenging thing. So let's touch base on that real quick, and if you got any more questions about those, just let us know. Okay, so we got our chenille or our yarn or our dubbing, whatever it is we have tied in. We're happy with it. We're gonna leave that back here for a moment. Now this is the one of the more important parts about this pattern is judging the distance up the hook that we're gonna start the head, or we're gonna finish the body and start the head or start the thorax. So we want to be about 2/3 up the way of the fly. So if I look here and I try to break it down, I always just try to eyeball what I think would be, okay, 2/3. So if that's 1/3, I'm probably 2/3 right about there. That's going to be enough space to build the head of my fly. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to toss a half hitch right there. Save my work. You hear me say it all the time, but I like to save my work. So when I come to my next steps, I know that my thread's not going anywhere. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to start wrapping forward. So make sure that your first wrap goes all the way around and covers up that work that you had done. And then we're going to move this forward. Okay. And when I think I'm getting pretty close to my thread, I'm going to bring my thread back so I know exactly where I'm at. Oh man, this is going to be bad. I'm going to lose my bobbin here. It's the problem when you get too many bobbins stuck on your...
it's a problem, guys. When you got too many Norvise
Too many Norvise bobbins. What can I say? It's just so bad. All right,
I can help if you need a hand.
No, it's okay. So I'm gonna.
If you need me to suck your thread through the bobbin, I'm here.
Later.
My lips are parsed for you.
Just dabbled them for you. Okay, so where that finished and I tied it off, I can already tell that I advanced on myself more than I wanted to.
Advanced on yourself.
Yeah.
Well, folks,
made advancements on myself.
Lonely men advancing on themselves.
So I'm gonna bring my thread back a little bit.
Did you turn yourself down?
I did. That was the worst part. I did. I don't know why. Like,
I rejected it.
Yeah,
I'll leave it alone.
Just seemed right. I couldn't give myself consent. I was like, no, Tim. No, it means no.
No means no.
Okay. Me too, right? Okay, here we go.
The opposite of no is on.
That's true, actually.
What is?
It is. So I'm back to that 2/3 mark where I wanted to be. Leaving enough space to still finish the head of this fly. Now, what I got to do is you're going to go into your kit. And you're going to have a couple of different hackles. You're going to have a nice grizzly barred one. It's going to kind of look like something like this. And you're going to have this kind of bushier brown one. Okay. Now, to prep this feather, and I always like to come in and kind of trial them and see these stimulators or formulators. We always oversize the hackle, so you can't really use a hackle gauge and say, oh, it's the size of the hook. That's going to be right. We're kind of all over the place when it comes to that. Normally when we tie them, because we want these to just be about as buggy looking as they get. So what I'm gonna do to prep this hackle a little bit, I'm just gonna pull a few threads, a few of those fibers off the bottom, so I have a kind of a bit of a bare stem, and I want the underside to be pointed rearward, so it gives me the shape that I want. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to tie it up here. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's not on the right side because it's at the front you're tying the hackle in, and I need to move it to the front. Trust me on this one, it's going to make sense in a moment. Get that stem locked in and loaded so it's not going anywhere.
Blake wants to know where Canada has gone.
We're all curious, Blake.
It hurts me in the solar plexus.
Hurts in a lot of places trying to figure that one out. So all I did was I half hitched that, guys, to save that again. And now what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start wrapping this rearward. So just nice open spiral.
Essentially, just like one of the most basic fly patterns, the bugger.
The bugger. Very similar. Very, very similar. And I'm going to make sure I come all the way around and get one almost basically full wrap right in front of that foam. Now I'm gonna grab that wire. Make sure you don't let go of that feather yet. I'm gonna grab the wire, and if I wrapped my feather one direction, I'm going the other direction with the wire. Make one full wrap of that wire before you let go of your feather, because you need that to have locked it in. Now I can let go. And now I'm just gonna start working that wire forward.
You guys understand the ability to actually rotate your vise? The accuracy of a hackle like that without having to like use your hands to go around?
Yeah, you never
just
move
didn't
your
really
hands, you
touch
just
on
spin.
it as you did it.
No, it's that cannot be overstated enough, is how simple that I probably made that look, and you're probably like, wow, but it is that easy, because it's that easy. Is if you have a vise that rotates, and it doesn't have to be an ore vise to rotate, but if you have a vise that rotates, it makes your life so much easier.
Svention's here.
What's up, Mr. Diesel? I'm gonna lock down that wire so it can't go anywhere on me. Just like so, and as you always hear me say, go ahead and grab your buddy's scissors to cut your wire, and make sure you just use the tip.
We all know
just
I'm
the
his
tip.
buddy.
Oh well, good thing Shore's giving you some scissors then, isn't it?
It's a good thing.
So now that I've got that locked down, I know that wire's not going anywhere. My hackle's in place. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna trim out the hackle at the back here. And then I'm gonna go right in, and I'm gonna kind of counterintuitively to what you might think, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna cut out the hackle on top, because we're not gonna need it. It's gonna be covered up here in a moment anyways. It'll help your foam sit nicely, give us a nice flat surface. Okay, and now I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna grab my foam. I'm gonna bring it forward. I'm gonna kind of give it a pretty good tug so it comes tight. And then right where that thread's sitting, I'm gonna take a wrap. Second, third, fourth. A little bit tighter each time. So now, if I look at this from the bottom, we got this, okay? Starting to look real buggy.
That's the buggery.
Looking real buggy. And now, you might be really like, oh, that hackle looks too long, I wanna trim it. You can, it's fine if you do. The fish probably don't care one bit. I personally like on this fly and the regular stimulator to have longer hackle. Does it look professional showman shape? Probably not, but I think it fishes better, it sits better in the water column. So don't be afraid of that hackle, okay?
SOS, Joel needs a sauce.
Joel needs a sauce.
Joel
All right,
needs
Joel,
a sauce.
we could take a break for your sauce.
We can take a break.
Break for the sauce.
Well, we're taking a break here. Make sure everybody's downloaded their bingo cards.
Yeah, you're gonna want them. As soon as this fly is done, we're gonna head over to some bingo land.
Just threw it to this scene because the idea of getting your bingo card. All right, Sean is not tying. He's just spurring up conversation. And he says, looks like we need a side convo. Questions. You can't choose black, white, olive, or red. What are your favorite flies for the following colors? Purple haze. The orange. Either like this. This is a great one right here. Chartreuse, Carper John. Blue. I don't fish blue.
Maybe you should.
What do we fish that's blue?
Well, not our local. I would go saltwater on that one.
Yeah, but pink, Ray Charles, or a pill popper, or everything Montana. Jason, are you still here?
Maybe, because he knows what those are.
Well, yeah, that's all they use.
Certain times of the
blue
year.
and black leeches. Yeah, that's true. I prefer.
Yeah, I guess I would use blue in some dubbing, some semi.
Purple. I like the purple. Purple.
The purple.
Can't tell you what the purple fly I like is.
Well, they could just go back
orange.
and watch it.
Brown. What's brown? Like a caddis. I would probably
My
say
favorite caddis is brown
elk
CDC.
hair caddis.
Yep.
Joel's good. He's released the SOS, and we're back to the tying cam.
We are.
And hopefully you guys can add your favorites so that Sean doesn't have to do the work and he just picks off you guys.
Okay. All right, folks. Let's get back at it.
Darren messaged me last year, asked for a little secret, or asked just first. He didn't ask for secret. He's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm going somewhere. And I said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but try a pill popper. as a dropper.
Yeah.
And I believe he outfished his dad 50-0. And so I was
Beauty.
like, don't ask questions, just put it on. Because Ben Armstrong also knows the truth in that statement.
Yes, that is true too. Okay, let's get on with this. I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to wrap it forward to just behind the eye. I'm going to pull that one more time, get a little tight, and then still hold it, get one full rotation in before you let it go. Okay, nice and tight, adjust it so it's right on top of the hook.
Oh, he said he actually gave his dad one. He was nice. Nice guy.
Nice guy. And then all I'm doing is I'm coming in and I'm cinching that foam down to the hook. Okay. We're going to leave a little piece of foam out the front of the fly, and this is going to be the thorax and head of the fly right here.
Telling you what, guys, tonight these prizes are going out the door. Whether somebody gets the wrong door and we got to find someone else,
it's happening.
it's happening.
Okay, so next thing we're going to go in and put in is we gave you a whole bunch of crystal flash. So like for instance here, this is just one big long piece of crystal flash. I'm going to fold it in half, get the ends roughly even, stick my scissors in, cut them once. Okay, that's one time. I'm going to fold them both over again. So now I've got 4 at that end, and I'm going to cut it again. So this time, when I tie it in and fold it over, I'm going to have a total of 8 strands. This is just going to imitate our wing. It's going to give some flash to it. Just tie it kind of halfway so it's hanging off the back of the fly. I'm going to come in here, tie it right on top. Then I'm going to take this and fold it back over. Fold it right back so that I have all like 8 strands or whatever it works out to be sitting there like that. Okay, and now I'm going to trim them right away. So I'm going to bring them so they come back to just behind the fly, trim them like so. They're going to look kind of funky for the moment. Once you put the next thing on, we're going to be laughing. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab that other deer hair now. So now we had this other longer deer hair. I want you to go ahead and grab like half of that clump, get it in your hair stacker. Once you get it in there, give it a good wrap. And we're going to pull it apart just the way we did last time. So we want to have the tips coming out the back, pointed back down the fly. That, for some reason, actually didn't align perfectly. I'm going to get that under fur from underneath it if it's still there. I'm going to stack this one more time because I don't like the way that stacked out. Pull it out again. That's better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my wing to be the same overall length as the crystal flash. So if I lay it here, I want it to extend basically.
All right, Colin's peacing out.
I'll see you,
Got to
Colin.
get up bright and early. We love
All
you,
right,
pal.
buddy. Love you, buddy.
Be safe up there. Can't wait to see you at Trax Pub,
Yeah.
March 3rd.
March 3rd. So I measure that back so it's right to the back of the foam. I'm going to switch hands again, and just kind of like we did last time, take a wrap, but don't flare it right away. And keep your fingers, this is important, keep your fingers on the hair that's laying down. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of tension so it flares a little, and advance forward, and then I can pull a little tighter, and then put some wraps through the butts.
The butts.
The
The
butts.
Gerald butts.
The butts. And now, because I'm still holding this down, I can come in here and trim out the butts without getting them confused with those nicely aligned tips that I want to use.
So if your hair stacker is full of static,
Oh,
go to
it's
the
coming
laundry
through.
room, and if you haven't been there in your life, ask your wife where it is. Grab yourself a dryer. What are they called? Bounce sheet,
It's
a dryer sheet.
Yep.
Stick that in, rub it inside of your deer hair stacker, and that will remove the static. Another one I've heard is you can also put salt in it and shake it around, because the charge of the sodium chloride will destatize your.
Destatize.
Yeah, it's a new word today.
Tell me
You
more.
guys are learning more words, ideas, but the dryer sheet works great.
Yeah, dryer sheet does work really good. The toughest part about the dryer sheet is just kind of getting it in there.
Balance
more than
sheet,
anything.
yeah. You can get it in there.
Yeah. We're no quitters.
And winter is very dry around
Yeah,
here.
very dry.
Hair dryer works.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so that's what we're left with. That hair is right up on top of the hook where we want it. Got pretty good coverage on both sides. Pretty happy with how that turned out. Now we're just going to kind of work in. There's quite a few pieces at the end here, so stick with me. We're going to get you through it. So the first thing that we're going to tie in is we're going to go ahead and grab, you've got some just plain white legs. You got 2 of them still stuck together. Let's get those apart. So now I got 1 strand. I'm going to match up the tips of the legs. Once I got them matched up, I'm going to come in and cut them right there. So now I've got my 2 sets of legs. I'm going to set kind of evenly half and half right on top. I'm going to take 2, 1, 2, let's say 3, and just let the tension of the bobbin hold against it. And then I can grab them and I can pull them to their respective sides. So I'm going to grab this one here, pull it towards the near side, right in the middle, grab this one to the far side, make sure it's kind of there. I'm happy with it. I like where they're headed. I'm going to take a couple more thread wraps to make sure they're not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to get on to the next material. So this next material is really optional. I personally probably wouldn't put it on mine, but a lot of the Formulator patterns we noticed called for it. So
are we good? Everybody's caught up? Just hold 1 sec. Let's make sure, folks. The legs, you can get or use whatever kind of legs you want. We do white so that you can
color them, which
color them whenever you want.
I'll do right now, so you guys can catch up if you haven't.
Universal.
But all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a brown Sharpie. I'm going to come in and color some bars on the legs. And that's the only reason we're using the white, guys. It's just that you guys have some options.
Glenn said that Lucy, who I believe is his daughter, wants to take Tim to get a manicure.
Anytime.
Well, we've been offered.
Well, we've had some light offers. I don't know if anything's been very serious.
I'll go for one.
I would take
I had a pedicure.
I know it's shocking to hear, but I've never had one, so I don't know really what it's like, but...
Well, I'm not sure what they're gonna do with those. We could get you fake nails. We should one time.
You guys make fun of me enough. You wait. I'm gonna come here one day with freaking like Coola DeVille daggers on my fingers.
Yeah.
And then I can't tie
hold
a fly
a sec.
for you.
Bag says hold HAS. Hold a sec. We're not sure. So Cam kind of took the blow dryer literally, and he said now stuff's everywhere. maybe take the hair stacker to the blow dryer instead of bring the blow dryer to your table.
Probably would have been a better option.
Bags is good to go.
All right. Okay, guys, let's do this. Let's get this done with. So we got some parapost. I'm going to take this parapost. I kind of just have this 1 strand here. I'm going to tie it in right where I tied in those legs so that it's centered on top. Take 1 wrap, 2 wrap, make sure I got it centered, bring it tall, and then I'm going to put some wraps back against it. But we're going to put in some material that's going to kind of push it rearward anyway, so don't really worry too much about it, the fact that it might splay like that. We're going to be pushing that back. So we got 2 more materials to put in at the back here. Okay, so the next one I'm going to put in is I'm going to go to that grizzly hackle feather we talked about. Okay, so let's get that feather ready to rock. So the same way we prepared the last one, we're going to peel some of the...
I'm going to change the tone here.
Please. Where's our Korean, what was it really called? K-pop, yeah.
Let me just see what I can find.
So I just bared down that stem a little bit.
You just bear down on
Okay, don't bear down. Stop with this
K-pop.
ASMR. Okay, so
I just want some ASMR.
I am going to tie this in with the underside of the hackle feather pointed against the parapost. I'm going to tie that in nice and close and tight. Take a couple wraps. I'm going to pull that leg back so I can get a hold of that stem and really lock it in. I don't want that stem going anywhere because that'd be a real bummer. Whew, like it.
All right, thanks, Tim. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Do you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
The episode. He was talking about how he won some prizes for his ASMR.
I forgot about
He's
that
like,
episode.
he whispers so low. It's so beautiful. He can't talk loud. And the guy that tells like, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Oh, man.
If you made it to the ASMR episode, folks,
You should
you're
have.
better for it.
You're better for it. Absolutely.
David Spaceballs. Speaking of ASMR.
Yeah, there he is.
I know.
What's up, Dave?
He showed up.
Oh, look at that brown trout you got there. That looks like my boat in the background.
That's a good point. That's Jordan's boat.
Yeah, Jordan's boat now. Okay, so last material we're going to work with right now is this orange dubbing. We are going to use this to create our dubbing noodle. So we don't need a ton on here, guys, but we are going to need a fairly long dubbing noodle. So get that right up close to the fly to start. and just take little pinches and as evenly as possible space out the dubbing coming down your thread. We don't want it to be super thick clumps. We want it to be a bit more than a wisp. Work our way down, make sure you get it on there good and tight. This specific dubbing we gave you is really easy to work with. It doesn't clump up too bad. It doesn't try to come off that thread. If you rub your fingers good on it, it's gonna stay quite well. I'll probably end up adding more, but I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna pull that parapost wing back, and I'm gonna do a full wrap up against it before, maybe even two, before I advance forward. I really don't want that to go anywhere. I'm gonna get maybe 1-2 wraps in between the legs, pull those legs back. I'm gonna keep wrapping forward. And I'm gonna add a little bit more now to get me down to the eye. Oh, that was way too much. The best kind of way to really work with this, guys, is just doing little bits at a time. If you get too big of clumps, then you end up, it doesn't go on as smooth. We want to have a nice smooth underbody if we can.
Troutmire Rishi said he wants to watch, but he's got to head up and climb the pine tree and move the antenna. Something's out of whack.
Be careful. Don't call an ambulance because they're not coming. All right. I'm going to finish this up, moving forward. I'm going to get this right down. Tapered out. Oh, so close. Just a little pinch more will get me right to the eye. Not that pinch, apparently. There we go. Last little bit. Work on getting this dubbing right to the eye, and then we can get on with what we're doing. Get that leg out of the way. And there we are. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take a quick little save of my work.
I got to be honest, Tim, you don't even need the other mic.
No, it's not bad.
It's so good.
It's good. It's working good. So I can set my thread out of the way because I have my auto bobbin. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that hackle, okay? And now we're going to hold pretty tight. We're going to do nice tight wraps, maybe a little tighter than we did on the back. I'm going to do a couple. Pull the leg out of the way. Pull that leg out of the way. Keep moving forward. Just trying to keep them as evenly spaced as possible is pretty much the goal. I'm gonna move that right up until I get to the eye. Do one full wrap at the eye, and I should finish with that hackle. Hold it straight up. Bring my thread back in.
Gosh, the stimulator on steroids.
I know. It's good. Good fly. Definitely want a few of these in your box. I'm just gonna lock that in so it can't go anywhere once I know it's good. Trim it out. I'm gonna lift up that foam, take a few thread wraps right here, and I'm gonna whip finish this fly actually right underneath that foam. And then all I have is a little bit of trimming to do, and I'm done. Holy man, Tim is struggling.
Tim, struggle Tim.
Struggle Tim.
Struggle Tim.
There's so many Tims. There we go. I like
There's
it.
only one baking cam.
But there's only one bacon cam.
Once you finish this off.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first off grab my parapost. I like it to be about half of the overall length of the deer hair, so I'll snip it there. That just gives us a little bit of something to see.
Oh, look at that thing.
Oh, it's looking good.
How would we ever
Sink it?
keep that thing afloat? Well, if you stick around, I'm going to share with you
And then what I'm going to do,
my
guys,
favorite floating.
is I'm going to come up to the head here, and I'm just going to try to cut like a little bit of a rounded nose on this guy, but I want to leave a pretty decent chunk of foam, okay, like about that much. Gives it more floatability, and maybe even you could skate it a little bit. Okay.
Oh, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah, you'll know.
Dip dive.
Dip dive.
Push wallow willow.
Push, wallow, jug, chug, shrug.
Certified badass.
Boo.
That is a
I
fact.
like it. So trimming up these legs, guys, I'm going to pull the rear legs back so they extend. I'm not pulling hard on them. I'm just got them till they have tension. I'm going to trim it at the back of the fly. Make sure this guy back here is the same. Pull it to the back. Trim it. Then these front ones I'm going to push up together, and this is just a guess. I don't really care how. I don't want them to be longer than the back ones, which that ended up being, so I'm going to push them forward so they're even one more time. There we go. I'm happy with that.
Either Cam passed out and face planted the keyboard, or he's got some issues.
I would go for issues, or actually either or, really.
Yeah, apparently Facebook is giving people issues.
Oh, well, that's no good.
So you can always move over to the YouTube.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is your Foamulator.
That
is a sexy fly.
Certified badass.
That's exactly what that is.
I would suggest tying a few of these, getting used to them. The first time, it kind of sucks. And then after that, once you get used to a little bit of stuff here at the head, you can whip out a dozen of these in no time. Try a variance of colors. I do like this color combo, but if you're gonna go more traditional stonefly, I might go with more of tans or light peaches or something like that, cinnamon color. But yeah, give it a go. I can promise you this fly will catch you fish. These two flies today, guys, I can't make that promise, but these two flies today, I will promise you to catch fish.
Like not every day.
But you will catch fish.
Not like Sean's fly that I showed him this summer. But that is buggy. That is. Turn it over. Just turn it over. Let's see the bottom. Literally.
The bottom one more time. Yeah.
Look at that.
About as good as it gets.
Yeah, I caught fish on this Stillwater last summer.
Yeah, hey.
Well, that's that. So the Stimulator is a very common pattern, and it is a very good pattern. It just really sucks to keep that fly up, and any kind of rough water, bloop, that thing sinks. Yeah. So they came out with this Foamulator. Lots of foam, lots of fun, and we always tell you guys to tie a dozen.
Always a dozen.
When? Mike's having some dilemmas here. He's on YouTube. He's on Facebook. But can Ken set the hook? Ken?
That's a good question. This is Ken.
Well, I'll answer that and tell you that legit Ken can set the hook. Ken doesn't want to set the hook.
That's what it is.
Ken, are you in here? I need to know because I want to tell a fun story about that. I just need this. This camera's focusing on weird things around me. It's like,
it's your beard?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't want to pay attention to me. Nice bottom. Scott says nice bottom.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. We got some super cool things coming up, guys.
Yeah, we got a great little halftime show going here.
Everybody, you're here for the halftime show because the Klinkhammer is probably a 3-minute tie.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
Super quick, super effective, but it's 8:12. We know what everybody came for. That's the Flymaster Water Flingo.
Water Flingo. Flyingo.
The Watermaster Flyingo. I was just making sure everyone's paying attention. But like we said before, there's only one baking cam. And that, folks, shows up every Thursday. That's what Tim is wearing. He's wearing Cam. Baking Cam.
Wearing baking Cam.
Has nothing to do with actual Cam who passed out on his keyboard earlier.
Nope.
Yes, so the platform of Facebook we cannot control, but what we can control is your slobbering out of the right side of your mouth with this baking Cam. Oh,
Delicious.
I do love my breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, that looks
That
good.
is good. So if we do go to Montana this year, I will gladly make breakfast sandwiches for anybody who comes with us. And then coffee, because we won't have G. Cluse there. 3-hour coffee.
Oh, the 3-hour coffee.
All right, so let's just check in and say a quick thanks to our sponsors, because Rocky Mountain Fly Shop is brick and mortar, folks. They've just moved in. Dreams are coming true for those guys. And a big, huge, massive reason for that is the TNL fam. Everybody over the last year who has supported Rocky Mountain Fly Shop, you've allowed them to grow out of their basement into a brick and mortar. If you have not been up to the shop, the hours, I believe, are on their website, but they are in a spot that is a new home. So let's say thanks to our sponsors. We're going to come right back. We're going to watch a short, quick film, and then we're going to play Bingo. Flyingo.
With the amount of time we spend in front of our vices, don't you think you deserve a pair of scissors that can make the cut?
All right. So you live in Airdrie. You're about 35 minutes to Olds. And at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to try. Come up north. Check it out. Olds, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
And Shore Scissors coming to Art Corey. So guys, girls, everybody, you don't want to hang up. You don't want to dodge here because we have what we call the Fly and Go. Watermaster Fly and Go. So we have all of these gifts here.
So many. Spool safe. A lot of tying material to say the least. Some hats. So many goods. Oh man,
Anyways,
everything.
there's
So much.
It's too much time to do all that. But what we want to do quickly here is show a little short film. This short film is not fly fishing.
No.
But I thought because a lot of fly fishing people waterfowl hunt, probably because it is the intimacy that fly fishing extends to the fishing world, is that we have to get so close to those fish to catch them. And that's just like waterfowl hunting. So I put this one together after a couple years of filming some hunts that we did. There's no grotesque stuff in here, so there's nothing. This is safe for kids. But it's kind of a tribute to one of my best friends. And we'll be back in a couple minutes after we watch this, and we'll be playing Fly and Go as soon as we come back. So make sure you download your bingo cards, flyfishingborver.com/Thursday Night Live.
Something
I'm going to try that button again.
supposed to happen, but it's not. Gotta love.
Oftentimes, I find myself trying to explain to people why I chose to be a waterfowl hunter. You see, the average hunter doesn't quite understand this addiction, the one that becomes of you once you take your first bird from the sky. Addiction can be read in the dictionary as a fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. I like to run with the idea of it being somewhat of a condition. I guess you just have to be one to quite understand one.
We got a northwest wind. The birds are coming off a roost over there, and we're hoping they're going to turn around and come in. So we've opened a nice V out in front of the, we'll call it a modified V, out in front of the blinds. Got some socks for movement, some dive bombs for silhouettes, so we're just filling it in now. We got a couple pods of geese, family of geese out there. Should be good. I really like the movement on the socks. We got some pennies in here, some mallards. The wind's good. We'll see how it sets up.
Perhaps the fantasy drives the condition, because there's an improbable tone that is spoken amongst us waterfowlers.
Well, Jack,
shaky.
that's, what do you got to say, man?
What time do you think they'll show up?
Hopefully
start a
this
pool.
works. Because
$5
otherwise we're going to be picking up for years.
Well, either way, we're picking up for you.
That's true. That's true.
One way, it just feels a little better.
Exactly.
Many days and hours spent in deep logical planning, trying to set up the perfect hunt. So many things can happen while hunting an animal that has wings. Obviously, there's no guarantee, just like any hunting situation, but you see, wings give these animals a whole other dimension of travel. This really adds to the improbability of a successful waterfowl hunt, but then define success. We'll sit and stare at these fields for days, trying to pick apart their flight paths, their weather patterns, their feeding patterns, and any predatorial factors all while playing out this fantasy in our head that, well, tomorrow morning, our day, perfection will come together in the most magical of ways. We will negate any improbability of all the factors aforementioned.
Can I kill him?
I can't see.
Right there?
Kill him.
Yes, you shot the Susie.
The fantasy will live on in our minds much longer than the reality ever will. And in the end, we're always humbled and reminded that the piles of birds are just a bonus to all the other elements that truly are derived from the actuality of the hunt. Sunrises and sunsets that no photo ever seems to do justice. Birds backpedaling into your decoys. The sounds of wings whistling before legal shooting light. The smell of gunpowder and musty wheat fields. And let's not forget that first sip of coffee, sitting in your blind, waiting for the show to begin. And turn on your favorite orchestra music and lay down beside me and let's watch it all happen. Perhaps it's just National Geographic on steroids. So if it's romance you're seeking, I'm sure you've come to the right place. The first time you triple, or perhaps once you've reached your limits, and you get to just sit in your blind, watching the ducks grind you like tornadoes from the sky, as the sun slowly sets behind the prairie horizon, knowing that packing up in the dark completely sucks, but such a small sacrifice for times like these. Perhaps it's merely just about the brotherhood.
Just go back and forth.
One of the most exciting things about waterfowl hunting is the camaraderie spent together in the blind. 90% of your hunt is about what happens between the shots. There's a close bond that is formed between friends that share the same condition, the waterfowl addiction. Hunting geese and ducks doesn't require full-time silence, such as big game hunting, so it allows for the stories to live on.
I done it. It's gone. Oh my gosh.
I would argue that one of the best parts of this entire obsession, this entire addiction, is spending quality time with your hunting dog, watching them in their true element, forming that bond with your dog that no one can relate to unless they've been there.
Yeah, that gets you.
All right.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Bingo.
All right. So
Oh,
there's a short film about waterfowl hunting, which I find is very similar to fly fishing, because it's about the friends, the relationships you form. You know, you don't have to be totally dead silence like you do in a lot of other big game hunting situations.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, so at the end of last August, we had to, our dog actually passed away. We didn't have to put him down. Yeah, so I didn't get another season. I haven't really got him out for a couple of years, but the memories are there. What's super cool is one of my clients printed this. Gary B. interfere in the house. This means a lot. Anyway, sent that up and memories are there. So let's play some bingo, folks. Let's turn the mood around. And
It's so
break
happy,
some
but
hearts.
it's so sad anyways. Just,
Yeah.
so good. First time I watched that, I had no idea where you were going with it.
Yeah.
And then he got me.
I don't know if I did either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's what's cool about it is that if you're into hunting, you're not into hunting, it's getting to spend time with people you love, and that's what it's all about. So let's play some bingo.
Flying go.
All right.
Break
you
some
know.
hearts. Okay.
Yeah, certified badass.
So, double line.
The first to 2 full lines. I don't care
Gotcha.
where those lines are.
All right, 2
This
full
line,
lines.
this line, this line, this line. All right.
So we'll make some calls.
All right, so I better change this to the right page here. Let's
So,
go
2
call game.
call. And guys, if you do get your full 2 lines, what you need to do is holler out bingo in writing, so you can't really holler it. And then you're also going to need to give us the card ID, which is in the top corner of your card.
Yeah.
And put it in there so we can verify, not that we don't trust you, but we're going to verify that it is a true winning card.
Yeah, we got all these prizes. There's over 5. I thought there was maybe $500, and now I know there's over $500
Definitely.
in prizes. And after this, we're gonna tie the Klinkhammer, which is a quick tie,
Yep.
quick fly to tie. But we want to give away the stuff because it's taking up room in the studio. So
Piling
there's
up.
the first 8 calls. Okay, we need double lines. So any double lines you call bingo. It's all in a computer program here. So we'll enter your bingo card and the ID, we pop it up and we see, did you win? If there's a tie, there's a tiebreaker here. We hit tiebreaker. We add the people, your ID cards. The computer tells us in a tiebreaker fashion, and then we go into bingo overtime. And I hope to God you don't get it. All right, so the next call
Not again.
is Fly Fishing Academy. So we have Thursday Night Live Fly Tying, Chubby Chernobyl, Simple Scud, Stone Flopper, Silent Bob, Pats Plus, Devil Bug, Kodiak Raft. Right?
The Rafties.
Yeah, it's named after. It just loves me. It just won't let me go.
Won't lose focus.
That's okay. I'm cool with it. Fly Fishing Academy. All right, we do kind of wait between calls because sometimes they come in.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a minute.
Bingo.
Really?
Chip McCarthy already calling bingo. Well, Chip, that's fantastic.
If it's true.
I think
that's
you might be
fantastic.
newer here. And there's some heartbreak coming next. We hear you, Chip. Let us know your bingo card ID number and the last call which
They
is
got
probably
it on.
number 9.
Yeah.
Type it in so we can type it in. So we can send you to bingo overtime. We warned you.
Heartbreak City.
We warned you. Maybe.
Never mind.
Oh, never mind. Chip's kidding.
Psych.
Chip's kidding. So we're on to call 10. Coffee Sparkle Minnow.
Coffee Sparkle Minnow. Another
2
great
lines.
flag.
We need 2. Yes, Chip, you're right. 2 lines.
2 full lines. Yep. Some good patterns up there. Coffee Sparkle Minnow.
Wonder if I can
You're right. This
extend
mic is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on now. Somebody give us a bingo. Oh, look at you.
Just
There you
making
go.
that a little larger.
Large.
Next call is the Simple Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. I am stressed. We need to win. Someone needs to win. I should have got a card. I bet I could have been one. I could have won.
You can. It's
Ah.
only residents of Quebec can't play.
Next week. Only residents.
most
man.
most of like competitions in Canada say that. You
Nope.
have to be over 18 and you can't be a resident of Quebec.
Yeah.
But we are fond
We're inclusive, okay?
of our friends in the
Quebecois.
Bonjour state.
Bonjour. Need One more for Mr. Mike. Come on.
Hold tight. We hold.
Did Chip
Okay,
actually get it?
Chip, did you
Come on.
actually get it? Because we did 9,
Let's see
10.
it.
Chip, I hope you got it.
hope you got it,
Because
man.
I want to take you to the overtime round. And I hope everybody here helps Chip out. Card 105.
Oh, man.
Your card will pop up here. 1 line, 2 line. That's a 2-line bingo.
That's a 2-line bingo.
And that was on the final call number 11.
Nice.
That's
Well
awesome.
done, Chip. Well,
That is, look at that. That's fantastic,
yeah,
folks.
1, 2, just like that.
Chip McCarthy. So we just hold tight because sometimes people come in. Chip 2, Chip 2. So hopefully everybody here will help you
Chip
out. Tim.
Yes, Jamie,
Tim.
diagonal does count.
Tim,
What?
psych him up.
Psych him up? Okay. What can I say, Chip? Listen to everybody. Listen to everybody. Because what's about to come, if you don't listen to everybody, isn't going to be good for you. That is what I have to say.
Chip.
Don't listen to Jason. Or Mike.
Chip.
Okay. Here we
Chip,
go.
are you still there? Did we have any other bingers?
I didn't see any
Bingers?
bingers.
Did we? Look
Everybody's-
at everybody.
All right.
All right, Chip. Welcome to Thursday Night Live Fly Tying, where we play fly and go
Dana
every.
is lazy. You better hope he is.
Where we play bingo every single Thursday. Brought to you by our friends at Watermaster.
Overtime
But
bingo.
Because sometimes in life, when you set the hook, your fly line and your tippet and your leader breaks, and it's
sometimes-
heartbreak, and it's heartbreak.
If your
So
bird's
Chip,
cold-
I need you to choose wisely and pick a door. One of these doors is absolute utter heartbreak. It is terrible. Juanita's not cool. I'm waiting for Chip.
Neither is
Chip,
Glenn.
you get one chance to pick the right door.
One
Who
door.
do you trust in the TNL fam? Oh.
Oh man.
Oh.
Man. Come on. Listen to the people.
Chip,
Not
are you
Eric.
still here?
Chip.
Chip.
Number
One sucks. Chip is gonna pick door number 2,
Oh,
folks.
baby. Come
All right,
on.
folks.
Let's do it.
It's come
Let's
down
see.
to this.
It's come down to this.
Let's see
Give us
what
the
Chip,
drum roll.
Chip Douglas, Chip
Chip.
McCarthy. All right.
Come on, baby.
I gotta find my cursor. I can't find it.
Give-
I don't even know if this door opens.
All right. 2.
Ah.
Yes. Woo! All right.
Oh, Chip, you are
Chip.
the big winner. Thanks to
Thanks,
everybody who had heartbreak before you. Drop the deuce, Chip.
Oh,
That is a
man.
fact. And just
Amazing.
like everything else, door number 1 was not your friend.
No way.
And door number 3 would have sent you home with some stickers. But door number
Alright.
2, the one you chose, gave you a lot of stuff. And now I just have to go get a box big enough to ship it to you.
Yeah.
Take out a loan on the house. But it's worth it.
Amazing.
It's worth it, Chip.
So worth it.
You can thank everybody who told you to pick number 2. And whoever told you to pick number 1, you can punch him right in the balls.
Drop a deuce, Chip. Drop.
With the amount of time we spend in front of our vices, don't you think you deserve a pair of scissors that can make the cut?
Oh man, I'm riding high for Chip.
That was fantastic.
That was good.
That was
Fantastic.
fantastic. Hey guys, go over to Watermaster's website. Big Sky inflatables. You hold these up. I can't. They don't focus for me.
Focus for me.
Okay,
Look at
check out
these.
their rafts. So that one there's the Bruin. That's their bigger one. And I want one of those so bad.
Yeah,
And I
do
think I've
too.
talked Colin into getting one of those. The one that we have is, if you turn it around,
We have that one.
is the it's on the back there. The Grizzly. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so much fun to fish out of these things. And the cool part about them is that the quality of construction is next level. So there is pontoons and rafts, and there's stuff made in over La La Land, and that's awesome. But this stuff is made in Montana, and I'm telling you, it is so freaking fun to float in a Watermaster, and I can't wait. I really want to get the bigger one because I want to spend some time on some forbidden waters.
Oh man.
Bruce takes his Grizzly down the Bow River all the time. BigSkyInflatables.com. So check them out, guys. And if you're curious about getting a raft at one point, give me a call or give them a call. But just at least, it is a bit of an investment. But put it in the conversation.
Yeah. And it's still way
'Kay.
cheaper than a drift boat.
Chip, so you got to send me an email to tnl@flyfishingbowriver.com and give me your details on how I get this package to you. Hopefully you live in Olds.
I'm guessing from the border conversation, probably not.
Oh, that's a good point. It's a
Be
good
on one
point.
side or the other.
It's a good point. It's a good point. It's all a good point. Okay, so anybody got questions about that? You got questions about the last fly? And I'm going to talk to you about floatant, and then in 3 minutes we're going to be tying. So Tim, what do we need to put in our threaders?
In your threaders, I am going to be tying on a olive UTC 70. So go ahead with that 8/0 or 6/0. I want olive or tan, something in that color scheme. I just always olive is a good go-to.
Weight capacity of the rafts, I don't know, but I'm not small, and I fit in there with all my gear in the smaller one that I have.
Let's see here. So actually it doesn't say. It says what it weighs, but it doesn't say what the capacity of it is.
Yeah.
If you could sink one, I would be impressed.
But check out their website for more. I'll look into this as we tie, guys, and I'll help you out. But around Alberta, the Bow River, lakes, Waterton, Old Man, Upper Old Man, you could probably get her down the Livingston.
Yeah, probably.
The Upper Red Deer, the Red Deer, the North Ram, you could probably get her down. The cool thing is in them, like, you just stand up and the raft just sits there. You fish a run, you sit back down, and you keep going. So I'll try to figure that weight capacity out, Scott, so we can answer that question. But without much further ado, this is a little bit of time for me and you to talk. I can't get this to focus. I'm gonna have to bring Tim in, guys. Okay. Tim's over there sucking his bobbin off. Hey, Tim, smile, you're on camera.
Screw you, man. We're not having a good bobbin day. I keep losing mine here. Okay. What do you need? It's just me.
It's just you.
You dink.
All right, you're the product holder.
All right, I'll hold some products.
Okay, so there's a constant debate about what floating is the best.
This one here is the best. Flyagra. Now, I want to just read you this warning label because there is a warning label on this one
It's a good
specifically.
point. It's a good point.
It says that if your fly stays up for more than 4 hours, please consult your local fly shop. So,
Yeah. The music's fitting. for this.
Flyagra. Awesome stuff.
Okay, so what is Flyagra? Basically, in layman's terms, it is kerosene and some sort of silica product, so
Makeup
like a
remover.
Vaseline. Okay,
Petroleum jelly or
petroleum product, jelly, Vaseline-ish, something. I don't know what their proprietary stuff is, but so you got like a kerosene and you got this silica petroleum stuff mixed, and so it's liquid.
something. Just a liquid.
Okay, that's not a paste. That's not a gel. That is
It's a pre-treatment.
It's considered a pre-treatment, and they say treat your flies 24 hours before you fish with them. Great. Pre-treat them. Some people treat them after they tie, and then they think, great. I don't ever pre-treat a fly.
No.
I'm telling you, so you dunk your fly in, you shake it in there, and you pull your fly out, and it's wet, and then you cast it a bunch of times, maybe 4 or 5. That kerosene evaporates, and then your fly is completely saturated with that floating or the hydrophobic chemical or product or whatever. Okay? Absolutely, hands down, all day long, the best floating on the market. 100%. I am a product whore. I love trying products. And I've tried almost every single floating out there. And when I hit this one, it was like, wow,
this is the one.
that is the stuff. So what's the other stuff we got there? And why would I have 2 products if I said this one is the best? Well, because there's this one called Loxa.
It doesn't like it. There we go.
Okay, Loon Loxa. Right there. That's the shot. Loon Loxa. So what's cool about that? Well, it is essentially also it's also a liquid. I don't know what the chemical or compound makeup is of that, but it is super fantastic for small dry flies. And it's CDC safe, so it's not going to wreck anything CDC. What I do, so the fly we just tied, I will dunk it. I will dunk it with Flyagra. Okay, I fish it. Blah, blah, blah. Catch a fish. You get fish slime on it. Okay, what do? You dry it off. You can Flyagra it again if you want. What I tend to do with clients often is I'll bring that in. I'll put some locks on my fingers, and I rub it in the deer hair and the post on top. Because the foam and everything else is actually saturated, but I just give a little Loxa touch up to the top of that hopper, and it stays. Flyagra is okay for CDC. I use it lots of times on CDC.
That's actually what, preferred on.
Yeah. But these 2 combos, and then what I also do is because I don't want to dunk a little fly in a big thing of Flyagra, so I consider my Loxa a littler thing of Flyagra, where I just squeeze a bit out, and little dry flies like caddis, pupe, like what we just did. Oh wow, look at that. The Klinkhammer.
Perfect example.
Loxa. So if you're putting floating on the Klinkhammer, guys, don't put that in the Flyagra, because you just need the post to float, because that's an emerger. It's supposed to be in the water, the bottom, the body part. So
It's a great chat, though. I mean, lots of people like or dislike. They have their ginks or whatever. We're just telling you from, like, I don't know how many hundreds of hours and years on the river. If you could take anything away from tonight, it'd be the flies and that. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Vic Tucciaroni's here. Tucci's dad's in the house.
Dooch.
That's awesome. So, gink. Cody brings up gink. I'm not trying to start a fight, but I personally don't like gink. It is a paste, and most flies it wrecks. So when you have like deer hair, or you have a smaller fly, any kind of littler fly, it mats it down, and it doesn't. I don't think it floats as well.
Yeah. So
gink was kind of like any kind of those pastes, like Umpqua bug float, gink. I don't even own them anymore, and so I'm like Loxa is like will blow gink out of the water, and now Loxa's probably $13 for that versus gink's probably like $7.
Yeah, it's pricey, but
I know, but we're
also use less too. Like
yeah. The other thing, okay, so we can keep talking about this. That's fine. So I talked to Colin about he's got Loxa at the shop, and I begged him to get Flyagra in because it just works super well. The other thing about Flyagra, okay, there's this whole movement of chemicals, and there's, oh my goodness, you're using Flyagra in the river, and that's not safe. One jet boat goes up the river once. Okay, goes up, spends 20 minutes on a river. That's about 500 bottles of Flyagra, in my opinion, and that's dumped them right in the river. So, you know what I mean, guys? Like, we can't virtue signal this stuff. We got to common sense about. I probably use one bottle a summer, maybe two, because I spill it.
Yeah.
But
it's not fun to get off the bottom of your boat.
yeah, and make sure that you so you guys
Good
can see your
tunes.
comments here. Yeah, so if you love Gink, that's awesome. Personal opinion, I haven't used Gink for probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And this stuff works great. So take it for what it's worth. Feel free to try out the Flyagra. I believe Colin's going to get some in shortly, so you don't need some today or tomorrow.
Unless you're lucky. Not
So-
us.
Not us. But once he gets it in, order it from Rocky Mountain Fly Shop. The Loxa is all world. 100,000% all world for anything that you would use Gink for. So the other thing with Gink is that if it's cold, it really is hard to get out.
Yeah, it hardens.
And if it's hot out, the stuff just like
Yeah.
I've ruined many shirts from Gink.
Yeah.
Cody's piecing out,
See, buddy?
crushing his data. Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah.
So do you put floating on your tippet? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I want my tippet to sit in the meniscus, not on the meniscus. Makes sense?
Makes sense.
Which also brings up one last question about, do you use mono or floral? And I put this on our YouTube channel as a poll. Do you use mono or floral for dry flies?
It's a great question.
It is a great question. I personally use mono. I love floral to bits and use it for absolutely everything else.
I really tried last summer to try the fluoro again, and it sinks. It sinks your fly. It just does. Like, maybe if you put floating on it or something, you could change it, but I don't want the hassle of doing that. I don't see that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think mono's good.
I don't have a strong opinion. But I do love.
I had mono in high school and I stayed with it. Oh, Cam.
So, also I use a non-slip loop knot on size 18 dry flies, and people say that's too much bulk. The knot's too bulky. I mean, is it? Like, is that the difference maker? I don't know.
Yeah.
You really just have to do a lot of stuff a lot of times and then make your own conclusion based on. We can never go back and replicate a situation the exact same.
Never.
So we just never really know. And so again, these are just opinions. A lot of people swear by Gink. It's not me talking people out of Gink. I'm saying I used to be a Ginkaholic, a Gink whore. And then I got onto Umpqua Bug Float, and I loved it. And then I found this stuff, and I was like, I haven't moved.
Yeah.
I've yet to find something. So another question was about the dry.
Oh, the dry powder, yeah.
I tried it for a bit, and it ruined. I had a disaster with that experiment.
Go up just a little bit, right there. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, Cam Flagger makes my lips numb." That's a fact. It does not taste good.
Yeah. So like the first time Tim got on it, I told him, make sure that you get all your hopper droppers set up, done, knots tied, and then dunk it in. Don't tie your hopper or your dry fly, dunk it, and then tie your bottom. You're guaranteed to get it in your mouth.
I did.
Jamie says floating on Floral would just take any of the benefits away from Floral. That's a great point, because what is you're trying to be invisible, and then you add some more stuff on it, and then you're trying to float something that's supposed to sink a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you dunk in the Flyagra during the day? I've only dunked it at the start, then use silicone powder through. I all day long.
All day
and
long,
the
yeah.
and the Loxa is, I probably, so Flyagra works better when your fly is really dry.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So you got, even if you are gonna redunk it, you're gonna spend like a good 30 seconds drying that fly out till it's
And
dry.
I just push it in my shirt.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely reuse it. But I'm more like Dana. I prefer to start with it, and then you gotta also imagine, guys, like if we're fishing something, let's say like a stonefly pattern, and we have it in the water, we're drifting in a boat for kilometer after kilometer. Like those are in the water for miles. Versus, standing somewhere, you make a cast up, it's a 20-foot drift, cast
And
up,
then you make a
20-foot
bunch
drift.
of false casts,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
just
back in. Like we're like up, back, hit the bank, get in.
Yeah, it's a little different in that fashion, but
Which mono brand? I love Orvis stuff.
yeah, for fluoro and mono.
It's not the best. It's all like,
It's
just because I
mostly
haven't like used the other stuff, but I switched out of Rio because I liked Orvis better. Do I know why? I don't know. I just
feeling.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things. I don't have like a strong opinion like I do with Flyagra.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Yeah.
feel free to ask questions. Tim's gonna get on this Klinkhammer because we're almost hitting 9 o'clock, and we don't want to miss out on the best part of the day, which is the winds.
It's coming up.
So if you guys had to go because it's late and you're out east, we understand. These will all be at 9:30 our time on the quick ties. They'll be there for you tomorrow. This entire show will be here for you tomorrow, so you can jump back in and join the conversation there. But let's get tying the Klinkhammer. Ask the questions. I'm going to put them into the favorites, which means I'll come back to them as soon as we're done tying this fly. And then we can make sure, because I love this conversation, especially about the floatings.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what you're seeing here in the vise, guys, is the clink that we're going to be tying. I'll take you through it. Let's get at her. So we're going to go ahead, if you open up your kit and grab your hook, you definitely need a very specific style hook to tie a Klinkhammer. So it needs to be a emerger style hook that's going to give you a very a lot of room to work into the bend. Okay, so I need to be able to get way down in the bend, because in actuality this whole bend is what's sitting under the water, and up here the post is what's keeping this portion out of the water or in the film of the water. So we kind of gotta have lots of access deep into the bend. So I'm gonna first start off by getting my thread started just behind the eye. I'm gonna work just a little base down, not too much. I'm gonna bring it back up, and then I'm gonna come back to virtually about 1.5 to 2 eye lengths behind the eye. It's a little bit of a feeler game, but I'm gonna put my thread there, and that's where I'm gonna start and put my post in. And post placement is important. You don't want to be right up against the eye, because you want to build the thorax up against the eye, and you don't want to be too far down, because then we're gonna lose the effective appearance of that body being submerged. So I'm gonna go right here. You got some parapost in your bag or in your kit. Looks just like this. It looks like a big strand, guys, but trust me, once you spin it, it gets really small. So we're gonna tie this in and double it over. I'm gonna tie this in right here, right on top of the hook. Get a couple of wraps so it's locked in place. I grab those and make sure I got it where I want it, and that it's right up on top. Take a couple more wraps, and then I'm gonna take this skyward. Okay, we're gonna get right at getting this into the post itself. So I'm gonna take a couple of wraps on either side just to make sure that it doesn't want to slide on the shaft at all. I got it where I want it. Now I need to tighten up my vise just a smidge. Okay, and now that I'm in this position, I am going to start doing what we would call the more difficult portion, which is just building your post. Okay, so I'm gonna come around like this. Just gonna start taking wraps. I'm using 2 of my fingers to hold the post vertical, and then I'm using a cuff finger in my other hand to just continue taking wraps around the base. And then what I'm going to do here is once I get a little bit of a base down, then I can basically just do it with my bobbin and my fingers kind of directing this. Now we need to take thread wraps a ways up, but we also don't want to go too high. And that's a little bit of a feeler thing as well. You kind of got to just know when you've tied a few how tall you want to go. or gauge it off mine when you're looking at it. I like to say it's normally, if I tried to gauge off that eye, I wouldn't want it to be more than 2 eye lengths tall. So if I was to turn this to you and you can
How
see
deep
my
in
eye,
the shank is too deep?
Yeah, never too deep in the shank.
Question.
So it is just important to kind
It's a
of,
legit question.
well, really you can't go too deep in the shank, but once the shank starts turning around and headed back towards the eye, it's probably too far. So I'm just gonna, now I think I've got a good height. I like how high that is. It might be a little shy. Let's go a little bit higher, not too much. Go a couple wraps, good. I like where that is now. And now that I've got it where I want it, I'm just gonna lay a really good base down, okay? A couple more wraps around the shank itself, so I'm basically saving the work. And now one little secret that I like to do, and I think I've showed you this in the past, is I take a little bit of my UV Solar Res Bone Dry, and I just put a little touch of it on the post itself. I'm not trying to oversaturate or anything like that. Just get a nice little touch, let that kind of soak in there, and then when I hit this with this light, I'm gonna make sure I got the post where I want it by pulling it vertical, hit it with my light, and now that post is extremely firm. It's not gonna move around on me when I'm trying to work on it, when I got my when I'm putting up my hackle on it or any of my other materials. It should stay right where I want it to be. So there it is, guys, and it is good. It's a little stiff. I am gonna trim this up a little bit, not right down yet, but get some of that extra long out of the picture there. So I just have it trimmed down just a little. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay a good thread base right down into the hook bend. Okay, so this is just to try to take the slipperiness off the hook, so when I'm putting my next material on, it's not going to be slipping around. I'm going to go all the way back up one more time and then back down one more time. Now we're going to go over and grab, in your kit you have this dubbing, light tan color dubbing. Okay, I'm going to make a dubbing noodle just like we did for the head of the last fly, but except this one, guys, I cannot emphasize on use sparingly enough. Okay, we want this to be virtually a wisp, like basically coloring your thread with the dubbing, and that's it. And then creating a nice even, super even noodle, because we don't want it to be bulkier in one spot, because we actually want this body to start looking quite thin, and by the time we get up top we want it to look like it's got thicker, so we're trying to create that natural taper of the body.
Question of, do you keep your extra cut materials for other flies? I used to keep everything.
Yeah, I think we all
like
did when we started.
everything.
And if I would say this, if you're tying a lot of the same pattern, like you're gonna tie a dozen, yeah, set it aside because you'll use it on the next fly. But if you're setting it on your desk to maybe come back to it at another time,
Or stuff in the back in the bag.
yeah,
Like,
it's just
in reality, most materials are pretty cheap in bulk. Bulker.
what I would say, guys, is a really good thing is if you have like some of those square yellow post-it notes, a whole pad of them. If you keep that on your tying desk, and you've got some materials you don't want to lose, or you're going to use it on the next fly, you just pick a page in the middle and stuff it in there so it's sticking out a bit, and then you put it back down. So Dana's actually got it here. Let me see this. So I've got an entire stack here. If I were to take one of these and just open it up like halfway, stick my material in there, close it back down, the weight of that holds it in there, and you could get a whole bunch of material stacked in there, and you just have it on your desk, you reach in and grab it, and then when Cam brings the blow dryer in, it's not gonna roll them all over the place.
What would happen if you put Flyagra on your parapost? That thing would stay hard for days.
Yeah,
Hard.
yes it would.
Why would it get hard?
I don't know.
Stand up, stick up.
Stick up. Okay, guys, now I've got my noodle built. It's nice and thin. I'm gonna start making sure I don't catch any of that dubbing on the hook point as I come through. I'm gonna color up my hook as I move up. Hopefully we're gonna be building a bit of a taper here. And what you'll see is as I need to, or as I feel like I need it to be a bit bulkier, I'll double wrap in some places to start creating that bulk, or triple wrap, because I want to create that appearance that it's getting larger as I get to the top. And that, by some miracle, was about the perfect amount of dubbing. And I'm gonna finish that off right there. So I like that. That gave me a really nice taper. And I like using that olive underneath, because if you don't quite cover it up, it actually looks like it's got some segmentation to it. You can see it down near the base. It looks like a little bit of green coming through. Just a kind of food for thought. Give it a try sometime. That's why I kind of oppose the colors of the thread.
And when things get wet,
It'll show through. Yeah. Okay, so let's prep our hackle because that's going to be tied in next, and then we're going to put in our peacock curl as the thorax, and then we'll get to just finishing this fly off at the post. So again, I've got my hackle here. One you got in your kit, same thing. I'm going to pull down, expose some of the stem. Now, when I tie this in on the post, I need to have bare stem all the way to the top of the post, because if I were to tie this in down here and start wrapping wrapping thread wraps up the post on it, it's just going to trap the fibers. So I want to clean enough off the base of that I can tie it in and still have bare stem all the way up to the pear post. And the other important thing here, so that it's oriented properly when you start wrapping, is I want to take the underside on this, you can see is quite a bit, is light, the other is dark. The underside, I want that when I tie it in to be facing the post itself. So I'm going to tie it in on the near side, so you're going to probably see the light color on your side. I'm going to tie that in. I'm going to make sure I got a little bit of space to come up the post. And then I'm going to take some wraps up the post with it.
it's intense music.
It is intense.
Falling asleep over here. Got all the music. It's called hype music. Get the boys hyped up.
And there we go, guys. I just worked my way up that stem. You can see it like so. I've got it so the dark is facing out, light is facing against my post. And then I'm going to work my way back down.
You think anybody's like having a hard time tying because the music's so tense?
I doubt it. Maybe. You never know. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my thread forward to the eye. I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 or 3 pieces of peacock curl, whatever you prefer.
Question is, wire ribbing to add some durability.
You don't really want to put any wire on a dry fly. It's kind of a rule of thumb, just because it does add weight. But something you could do is, if you wanted to add some durability and possibly some segmentation, is take a very thin piece of crystal mylar or crystal flash tied in.
Or floral.
Or floral, anything really. Floral.
I mean, you that's not the worst idea, because you do want this bud in the water a bit.
Now the hook shank's doing it for you. Anyways.
I don't think
it.
you need to worry about the durability of that.
No. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces of peacock curl. What I'm going to do here is...
Did you put like resin on the post?
I did, yeah. I'm going to break off the tips so that comes off, because that's
totally
the fragile.
Forgot about resina.
Oh,
You should put some more on.
yeah, then it'll be too slippery. I won't get anything to stick to it. At the end, you'll get a little.
I get a little.
I'm going to tie in my peacock curl right up here at the eye. So I left a little hanging over the front just so I can pull it back. And then I'm going to kind of bring my thread back to here.
It's like Christmas music now.
I see it.
I'm just doing what I can do.
And so this is kind of important here, guys. But what I've done now is I've come back to here. I'm going to secure this all the way back to there. And then I'm going to bring my thread back to the post and go around the post once and leave it hanging, because I need my thread to have finished on the post. And then I'm going to work around my thread with my peacock curl. So I'll start wrapping this forward.
The thing with Flyagra on a fly like this, which is this is where gink would serve a purpose, because you're just pushing it on the post, which if it gets a little matted, that's totally fine. A fly like this, you wouldn't want to drop completely into your Flyagra. But this is where I love the Loxa. A foam post, 100%.
Yeah. So what you saw there, guys, was I took that peacock curl and I went all the way forward to the eye, and then I worked back up over. And and once I got to my post, because I left my thread on the post, it's already ready to wrap on the post. All I'm going to do is pull my peacock curl straight up, come around my post one more time, gather my peacock curl against it, and now my peacock curl is secured firmly to the post as well, and I can let it hang, snip out that peacock curl. Okay, and now that I'm on the post, what I'm going to do, and this is the trick in my opinion to making this fly a lot easier for yourself, is take this, flip it upside down in your vise, So what happens here is now it's oriented as if I'm finishing this fly on a proper hook shank. It's just that I'm on the post, okay? So I got some of that peacock curl up on my post, so I'm gonna work down my post again. Make sure I have a good working area. And I'm gonna leave that hang, okay? If you all are with me here, we are almost done this one, okay? All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna orient, kind of get that pair post out of the way. I'm gonna get this hackle wrapping.
So the color for the body is relevant to the mayfly pattern you're fishing.
So whatever it is, you could do a green drake one, you could do a brown drake one, you could do a mahogany.
Sulfur.
Endless sulfur. You could do an Adam
bluing
style.
olive,
It's really popular.
Green, yellow, gray. Green, yellow, gray. Purple.
Why not?
'Cause it's nothing, but it works.
So guys, what you saw there is I went somewhere you should land between 4 and 6 wraps coming all the way down. Because my bobbin is just hanging already, I'm going to work it kind of back towards the hook shank, keeping my thread out of those hackle fibers. Come around. I kind of going to watch on the other side of the fly, make sure I don't get any trapped. Do 2 full wraps that way, let it hang. Now I know it's secure, it's not going anywhere. Let's go ahead over and grab our whip finish tool, okay? And we are going to whip finish this right on the post. This is how you're supposed to do it. Lots of people kind of cheat it and leave their thread across the thorax and finish on the eye. But how you should be finishing these post flies is on the post. So let's bring this in. Whip finish doesn't change at all. I just got to be a little bit more careful that I don't trap too many fibers when I do this. And I'm going to do a 2-3 turn whip finish. Bring it in. Got that there.
Justin Fisher's off to hockey. That's men's league, not for me.
No, too late, too late.
Cheers, Justin.
See you, buddy. I'm going to come in here now that I can see this well, and I'm going to trim out that hackle. And now you're always going to have pushed a few of those hackle fibers down. It just happens no matter what. So go in there and trim those out if you don't like them, or leave them and maybe they look like some legs. I mean, honestly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorient this back in my vise. Get it here. One more level. Like so. And all I'm going to do, it's so ominous, yeah. So I'm going to come in here and trim this.
Pick it up here, just hold tight. I fell asleep on
There we go.
the music.
I don't like a super long post. I want it to be up there where I can see it, but not excessive. And guys, that is your Klinkhammer. It is by far probably one of my absolute favorite dry flies for so many reasons, in that you could fish it in just about any water system as a mayfly imitation, and I mean, you're winning. I promise you, you will catch fish on this fly.
So
And,
Darren said his post just kept spinning.
Spinning around the hook shank, or spinning, how do you mean?
Spinning right round. Can you put some resin on something?
Yeah, I'll put some resin on here just for you. A little dabble, do ya?
Destined, don't leave yet. You're about to see one of the most fantastic parts of the show. A little friend we have called Rosina. And she shows up when the resin shows up. She's a big fan of resin. Oh, look at that. I forgot about her, folks, but she is back.
And she didn't crash the show, so hey.
No, normally,
we're winning.
typically in the past. We've upgraded. So that's how you tie the Klinkhammer with a touch of resin at the end, only if you want to bring out Rosina.
There it is, folks.
A clink with no gink. Joe's a poet, and he didn't know it.
A clink with no gink will just sink.
That's a fact.
There it is.
All right.
A couple of good flies. A couple of my favorites.
You need to tell a joke. Ask Doug for a joke.
Doug, yes, please. We need a joke. We are not good at telling them ourselves, so if you wouldn't mind bringing one to us.
Doug, bad dog joke. Bad dog joke, Doug. I like seeing an ex for the first time after a month. Well, Cam, I hope you're not seeing your ex after a month. I hope you don't have an ex a month ago.
Yeah.
Jen might not be happy with that.
Does Jen know about this ex?
Yes. It was a month ago. It's COVID. It's passed. Everybody got a pass.
Cool clink.
So that's kind of how that works. So if you have any more questions about gink, Klink floatant. There was a cool product that Colin showed me yesterday that I had not heard of, and it was called the Royal Gel
I haven't heard of it either.
from Loon. So it has a bit of a sparkle in it, and it gives a little shimmer to your flies, and apparently it's supposed to imitate like the iridescent reflection of wings.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, he said it was awesome. Have not tried it. So anybody in here tried it?
Did you know sandals were invented by a Frenchman?
His name, Philip Flop. Oh, we got another bad joke contestant here.
Oh, Mr. Beatty. That was
Bad
good.
joke.
Felipe.
Bad joke, Roger.
Oh, man.
All
All right,
right.
Darren. See you, buddy. Have a good night. Heading out.
I need some Flyagra on my mic.
Yeah. Looking a little flaccid.
After 2 hours and 10 minutes,
Oh, I see.
that doesn't want to stand up. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I went to a bookstore and saw a book titled How to Solve 50% of Your Problems. So Glenn bought 2. We
Yes, I
laughed.
did
We're still
laugh.
laughing.
We're still laughing.
All right, folks. If you're just leaving, don't leave because we're just about to hit the best part of the night. And we told you guys that you don't want to leave without
Not
going
yet.
through the best part of the night. So hopefully you're still around. And if you are around, all 100 of you that are here, we want to share cool things that happened this week. So I thought about it, and I thought about last week, and I thought about some people's comments. Some people commented, I don't have any wins for the week. And I just wanted to remind everybody that, and I tried to formulate it and put it into words last week, and I failed to do so because I was trying to say, like, your win doesn't have to be big and it doesn't have to be small, and then I was trying to figure out what the best way to say it was. But the fact that you guys woke up this morning, the fact that you're breathing, the fact that your heart's beating, that's a freaking win. Okay, the fact that we have another day on this earth to be together, and it's a Thursday, that's a win.
Huge win. Yeah.
And I remembered, and I saw something, and it said, what happens if at one point in life you looked back and everything you feared or everything you thought was like the worst of the worst actually never came true? And then you sat there on your deathbed and you looked back and you said, I lived my life in fear of things that I thought were going to happen. And what a wasted opportunity of life if we just sit there and think, what ifs. So I encourage you guys to think about and girls, I use that term universally. I encourage you to just say, even if your win is I got out of bed this morning, that's a win. That's important to us, and that's a start. And not every week is like, oh man, I've got 55,000 amazing things that happen to me. Maybe it's just I got out of bed today. My family is somewhat healthy. I got a roof over my head and I got food in the fridge. And so as I encourage you to think about your wins this week, little things, big things that happened to you that made you smile, that you're thankful for, that's what we share here on this final segment of the show. Having said that, Tim,
Yeah.
you go first.
I'll go first. Well, guys, I got a couple wins this week, actually. And like Dana said, nothing that is nothing crazy big, but are wins for me and my family. We mentioned last week that my dad was getting better. He had COVID, and we were pretty worried about him for a couple weeks. I actually got to go see him yesterday. I sat and visited with him and Mom. He's out of quarantine. He's doing much better, so thank you for your thoughts and prayers over the last 2 weeks. It did mean a lot, and the messages you guys had sent out to me, it truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I wanted to report back to you guys and say he is doing better, so very thankful for that. Second big win for me is kind of a simple one, but I actually me and Ren got out this week. We did a little bit of fishing, and sometimes you watch your kids, and I don't know how it works out the way it does. I know I'm blessed. I've got an amazing child. But listening to her talk and tell stories and interact with people around her, I just found myself sitting back this week, a couple of days when we were out fishing. Even today, she was getting her hair cut. How she was talking to people, and you always second guess some things you do and how you parent, and you never really know if what you're doing is right. And then you just realize how much of a blessing your kids are, and what they're actually. You're always, what can I do for them? But then you watch them bring joy to other people. And it's like this secondary thing that it compounds, and it's super exciting as a parent to see. And I just felt blessed. I feel blessed this week. Had time to spend with her and to just see those things. And sometimes you got to slow life down and just, like Dana said, be thankful and, be conscious of those little things, because I heard this quote actually this last week where it said, it's the little things that actually add up to your life. Not every day is sipping a margarita on the beach, but the interactions you have with your friends, your wife, your kids, the hello, the goodbyes, those add up to the majority of your life. So if you just let those things pass by and don't take advantage of all the small wins, we'll call them, in our lives.
No, and not even take advantage, but just recognize. And that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, if you let that go and don't see it, what a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My win this week was, I always find it pretty special when we get to hang out with or see some TNL fam. So we got to hang out with a few at the fly shop the other day. So that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to March 3rd because March 1st up here is Restriccionzo Gonzo. They're pretty much gonzo, hopefully, for the most part. So, yeah, March 3rd. So, Victor Edmonds came up, I think it was yesterday. I don't remember. But got to hang out with him for a bit. Got to spend time with him on the boat this summer. And that's super cool. The other one, I don't know if Doug and Joe are still in here. They were on the YouTube, but it's kind of a shout out to somebody who's going to be making waves. That hangs out with us here at the TNL fam. So one of the other things that I get to do, that I love to do, is work with people in kind of like a coaching mentorship aspect, helping people grow their business in the marketing type thing. So with young, new entrepreneurs that are trying to grow their brand or their business. So started with Jose this week, and I won't talk about a lot what she's got going on, because it's kind of like do the work and then let the work do the talking for you. But it actually inspired me how much she's put into this already. And it's just really cool to see somebody with a passion for kids, some of the stuff that she's doing. And just, it's exciting to work with people who are just like on fire, good people. Their spirit's good, their soul's good, and they want to make a difference in our fly fishing community. And more so the fact that they kind of chose me to help walk them through this. It's not lost on me. So Jose and Doug, if you're still here, I'm excited for what you guys got going on, and super cool that I get to be a part of it. And I thank you for that. So
awesome.
Cool stuff there. Now it's time for you guys. And I posted Chris's. He got to go to the Denver Fly Fishing Show.
Nice.
Super jealous. And he said, hey, to the Watermaster crew from the TNL fam. That's awesome.
That's wonderful. All right. Mr. Wade got asked to present on leadership and my take on Moxie. Super honored to get to present next Thursday in the morning and evening. Super excited to share. My mission is to share, and no one better to do it, my friend. Pumped for you.
Super leader, super awesome friend. We talked about it before, that everybody needs a Chaz in their life.
Everybody.
And if you're in the TNL fam, you got one. Hillbilly, win for the week. Got out ice fishing with my kids, cousins, and friends. Fishing was slow, but still an amazing day. Love people, catch fish.
Yeah, totally. Steve, it's got another great night, folks. Have a great week and see you next Thursday. See you then, buddy.
Morgan. My win for the week. One of my favorite patients, kitten named Toby. Biopsies came back negative for lymphoma. He's officially in remission.
Nice.
Number 2, I know I said it last week, but I don't think I could say how great it is to officially be settled back into living with my dad. Love getting to see him every day and watch TNL together every Thursday.
That's awesome.
So Bruce is Morgan's dad. And me and Tim both get to spend time with them in the summer on the river, and it's pretty cool to watch their relationship grow because of fly fishing.
Yeah, super special.
Destin fixed. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He fixed a very broken machine today.
Tell us more about this broken machine. Jacob, my win is thinking of all the great memories of my old dog Duke. His health is deteriorating and some hard times are ahead. That absolutely paralyzed me last year. Thinking about that. How would you make the decision? How would it go down? Tim kind of graciously walked through it 6 months before me. And I think what happens is you owe it to your dog to see them out to the finish line. And you remember that you've done everything you can, Jacob, to give them the best life possible. Yeah. And it burns and it hurts, but don't bury that, because it's a necessary process to go through in honoring your pet. And if somebody says it's just a pet, punch them in the dick. You don't need people like that in your life.
No.
But what happens is that pain and sorrow, and I'm staring at the picture I showed you guys earlier over here. It hurts, but it just starts, but it's like this memories, and it starts to, yeah. And I miss my dog every single day, but I'm proud of the life I gave him, and it's all I could do. And we know dogs don't stick around forever. Yeah. So I stole it.
Nothing easy.
Eric.
My win, I got all the stuff out of my house and moved into the farm, and getting the stuff out of my garage moved into the farm also. Hopefully be finishing up this weekend. Awesome.
Good stuff. Lots of wins this week. Work is good. Life is solid. And hard not to be happy.
Amen. Cam, I had a tough couple weeks in my head, shut down a bit further than I would liked. Brandy Hasselbeck and Chas Waite reached out, and just the right time in my days. I've had 7 more wins since last week, and more on the way. Cheers,
That's what I'm talking about, guys.
Yeah.
And that's
T&L family.
because when you're accountable to a group to get to share stuff that's positive like that, then you start to look for it in your daily life. And when you look for it, you focus on it, and that's where your energy starts to flow, and positivity spurs from that. Laura says, at my son's first rehearsal, we watched a lot of talented kids play classical music pieces, and my son rocked it with an AC/DC song. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mr. Jen or Stephen Lyle, some time ago when I would wake up, I would say to myself on the days that I thought would be hard, Steve, be kind today. That is all you need to do. This is a win in my own behaviors that has really improved my life. Stay kind and love everyone. God bless you all. Missed you in the last couple weeks. We missed you too, buddy.
Cody, glad I got to spend another thirsty Thursday with all of you. I'm off to bed. Have a great night. Cheers, Cody.
Cheers,
if
buddy.
you're still not in bed. Maybe you're just listening to us and therefore you want some ASMR to help you fall asleep.
Ron, my win is my neuropathy pain is getting better and out of my hands. Makes tying less frustrating. Life is good.
Yes. Like metaphorically out of your hands, or it's not
actually out of your
pain in
hands.
your hands? Mr. Pape. My win is going to a live metal show on Saturday. Been almost 2 years since I've been to a live concert.
Oof, it's not true.
Who'd you go see?
The Fly Fisher 54. My win for the week is getting to spend another Thursday night with the 2 people who are quickly becoming my favorite people in the fly fishing community. Oh man, that means a lot. I'm glad you're giving your Thursdays up to us and hanging out.
Jennifer Bird. our friends at Fly Fusion and I Have 4, which is coming to Calgary, I believe, March 10th. And then I think we have to look at our hosting up in Red Deer. TBD. Her trip to Lethbridge last weekend for a first restaurant visit with friends that we've been missing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I love that you guys can just pop over to Alberta and taste a little bit of freedom, because BC doesn't appear to be going that way.
No. Mr. Ellison, we'll be in Florida in under 48 hours. Hopefully I can still fit in TNL next week for a minute or two, but there's always the quick ties. Have a great couple weeks all. Safe travels, bud.
So I think the way to reframe that is I will fit in Thursday Night Live next week, or Dana's going to skunk me on the bow. Brothers in the house, Mr. Dario.
What's up, brother?
Just got back from an epic cat skiing trip with my brother and my close friends. FWA cat skiing in Fernie. Hashtag winning.
Lucky bugger.
I love you, brother. How is your brother doing?
Yeah. Jamie, win for me was we launched a new design this week for the apparel company, Chuckerfly Apparel. Give them a check it out.
Yeah. Mr. Cole, win for the week. Always good to wake up on the right side of the grass.
Yeah.
You have grass where you are? Lots of overtime this week and watched a pretty stinking cute Brittany Spaniel growing up.
He might even be upstairs. Mr. Chip, 136 weeks clean and sober. That is huge, man.
That is so cool. Yeah, and I got your email, and I remember you kind of have a few different names. Skip McDuffie. So I don't know how much you want me to say, but I'll say it. There's maybe some hesitation about joining us this season, and I'm super glad that you stuck with us, because I always say to people, if you're here, it's not an accident. It's a purpose, and there's a reason. And Chip, you're the big winner tonight, so I mean, you literally just got everything back and then some. So we're super pumped to have you part of the TNL fam, and I'm glad you stayed a part of it. So lost all the data and had some other communication issues. It's a giant saw, and you fixed it, and that's a win, and that is what matters. Joe.
Awesome. Mr. Joe Matchington snowmobiled for the first time in many years this past weekend with the family on Sebago Lake here in Maine. I realized I missed it quite a bit. Yeah. That's great.
Roger's family-sized win this week. We were adopted by a feral cat. She's a sweetheart, gentle, calm, healthy, and cute. Even our dog likes her. That's cool.
Oh, that's a win. Mr. Barry Dickow.
Oh, that's so cool.
A long 25 months for our charter bus business, but the phone is beginning to ring again. Yes. Amen. All right, dude.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome.
Ryan's win is friends and family, the show, and all the love and unity that old blackface deems unacceptable. Hong Kong, Canada.
Mr. Bruce Cameron, my win. Finishing both flies in real time tonight.
So we just need 2.5 hours and no flames game.
Yeah. Touche.
Yeah. Lots of love coming right back at you.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, we're getting a gift wrapped.
Come here, buddy.
We got Tim's puppy coming in.
Thanks, Vic. Oh, yeah. We'll bring this in for the end.
Steal the show.
Oh, yeah.
Art's above ground and breathing. We all have good and bad, just grateful every day. Nature is abundant in his backyard, and he's truly blessed. Thank you, Art.
Oh, that's awesome. Jason, win of the week. On my way to work on Tuesday morning, I came around a corner to find a herd of deer in the middle of the road. The road was a little icy, and I couldn't stop. There wasn't much of choice. There was not much choice in order to hit them. When one deer looked up, it stopped for a second, giving me a split second to try and go between the deer. Out of 3 to 4 deer, I managed to only hit one and cause minimal damage to my car. I can't say how thankful I am that I'm here healthy a little bit, fixing up, but nothing too bad on the elbow. That's awesome.
A little elbow grease can't fix. Jeff, my win. The last couple weeks, flies didn't turn out like I had hoped. Tonight just clicked and the flies look like they're supposed to. so glad I tuned in and had some real success with the vise, and our packaging could have been a part of that. So we apologize.
All right, Mr. Ben Armstrong. My win for the week was seeing my son hang out with a friend that he hasn't seen since last summer. The giggles, the smiles, and the laughter, and the immediate connection they made was amazing, and a testament to true broship. Yeah.
This is just Sean agreeing to the doesn't want to get skunked. Now he's going to get skunked, and he's going to think I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Lesser win. Just got a new reel for the new 3-weight.
Nice.
How to get some line. What reel, what rod, and what line?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a good question.
Cheers coming in for Chip.
Yeah, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah, good
Cole.
night.
Looks like folks are getting sleepy. And not just the puppy.
Are you sleepy? Are you sleepy?
We can't wait to come hang out next week.
Yeah. What do we got next week?
The Pearl Zonker
Pearl Zonker.
and the Shop Vac.
Oh, a couple good ones. They're all good.
Streamer and a Nymph. I think this might have been one of the best.
I think this is one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great flies.
It was not the packaging, it was the guy behind the vise.
I don't know.
Was it Matt behind your vise and you were watching? Let's blame it on Matt.
Oh, is it
Yes.
that time?
Scott,
like it.
you have to call. We're supposed to touch base on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I crapped the bed, but we have to chat. It's easy. It's painless. You just have to call.
Just gotta call.
Just have to call and say,
What's up?
all right, folks. Well, looks like that is a long time tonight since we started. We appreciate the Orvis Helios, Able Reel. Not sure of the line yet. The thing with the Orvis Helios is that they are paired for their fly lines.
Yeah.
They cast better with their fly lines. Just throwing it out there.
Yes, they are.
That is a fact. I know this.
We have tried. We know.
Absolutely. Chip, Skip, we're here for you, brother.
Yeah.
You're a part of the fam.
We're the family.
All right, Bags. All right, folks. Well, reach out if you need.
Yeah.
The Facebook group, Thursday Night Live, the official Thursday Night Live Fly Time Facebook group, is where you can reach us or find us on Facebook or whatever. Emails, you got a million ways to contact us. You got a million ways to contact all the people in the group, and make sure that you do, because we're not just here for each other on Thursdays, we're here for each other every other day of the week.
Yeah.
And please pray for Canada.
Yeah. We need it a little bit right now.
Crazy things are happening. I'm still proud to be Canadian more than ever. Just need a few prayers.
Yeah.
Until next week.
Until next
I'm Dana
week, guys.
Lattery.
I'm Tim Hepworth.
Love you guys.
Love you.
And we'll see you next week. The button's not working.
The button's not working, guys.
We can't go.
We can't go.
We can't leave. We can't leave. We're trying to leave. I think everybody just wants a little ASMR. Do they want to? They don't want to leave. Remember that time we came back on?
Yeah.
We're not doing that tonight. But if I press the right button, we're going to end the show. I just want to tell you one more time. I do love you guys. And the dog wants up here. So maybe we aren't leaving.
Gus has got to say hi. Just a beard mauling.
All right.
Yes.
Little doggy ASMR.
Come on, Guzzy. Come on, buddy.
Okay, I think I found the right button. I hate to say goodbye, but I love to watch it leave. Okay.
All right. See you,
Peace.
guys.
I
can feel my body cold against the concrete, but I can't seem to get enough. My mind is fixed on what it wants. I just let you beat me. Looks can be deceiving. Let you get the best of me. In bed with my worst enemy. This is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Back up and get me home. This is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Back up and get me. So put your hand in mine. Follow me. Let me waste your time. Set up feet. Do some stupid shit. Take a seat. Let me waste your time. So put your for your innocence, acting like you're into me. I know this is hopeless, moving in slow motion, trying to control my thoughts, but I can't stop our body talk. This is a no-go, I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone, back up and get me home. This is a no-go, I just can't take hold.